intro, huh?
Oh yeah.
Come on. That's not bad.
Oh yeah.
That's not bad, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Of course, this is going to be a very special episode, ladies and gentlemen. There is so much to talk about tonight, as there always is every single week. The 69 month probably going to be running rampant throughout the night, and we do have a fully transitioned Leona. There's so many names that Leona can go by, but we're going to go with Leona. Fully transitioned Leona's in the house for episode 69. So our ESG scores every single week are continuing to rise. And now we have even more diversity on the stream with our special guest, Project Eggroll. Shout out, man. How you doing? Welcome to the stream.
Yo, good. I'm doing well. Thank you so much for the invite.
Absolutely, man. I'm happy to have you here. So let's do our intros real quick, ladies and gentlemen, so we can go around and talk about the nonsense of the week. First and foremost, starting off with Leona. Take it away.
Thank you for having me back on, guys. Episode 69. Did you invite me here because you saw my video on the Senate floor? Is that what this is?
Oh, fuck off.
Oh, that was your video. That was your video, Leona? I'm so proud of you.
Oh, man.
Girls gotta make a living somehow.
Oh, my God.
Congratulations, Leona. You really made it. You made it.
Thank you.
But yes, welcome. You good with your intro?
Yeah. Take it away, Ryan.
All right. Ryan Roger Ashley. Take it away, Ryan Roger.
My artwork says hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Ryan's artwork.
That's actually a decent drawing.
Thank you, Dragon. You are no longer a bad person. Hello, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. And it's great to see you all watching today. Hopefully you enjoy the 69th episode of Saturday Night Hypnosis. Great to be here with my fellow white males, present company excluded in Atreus's case, and Jay's, because he's technically black as well. Good to see Mr. Chan, one half of Project Eggroll. Of course, Gray cannot be here for some reason, unfortunately, because you're a great team, you two. And hopefully we have a good talk in regards to pop culture topics of the day. Now on to Persian man or black man who wears black clothes. ESP.
Jay, take it away.
Thank you for the intro, I guess. as a I don't know, white guy being called a black guy. But I'm at Diabolical Souls. I do interviews. I fight against the extreme left, and have fun with it. And I'm glad to be on this show with these guys, except Ryan Rogers.
That makes sense. Makes absolute
girl.
sense. Hey, we gotta forget we tonight. We do have female representation.
We have at least one tuck.
All right. We also got Project.
It's still a goddamn sausage fist.
No, it's not. It's not. Leona.
Inside out sausage is still a sausage.
All right. Mr. Chan himself, one half of Project Eggroll, man. Take it away.
Yo, how's it going? Thank you so much for the invite, man. I've been looking forward to coming on, and thank you so much for reaching out for us to come. I know that Gray wasn't able to come on because I believe he's starting his new job soon, so that's the reason why he's oh, I don't think I can make it that early. But yes, you can find us at Project Eggroll on X or Twitter, and you can also find us on Project Eggroll on YouTube. And we do go live every Saturday, 10 Eastern. So immediately after the show, I'm going to bounce and we're going to do our show. But thank you so much for having me on, and I'm looking forward to all the topics that we're going to be talking about tonight.
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much. And our recent popping off YouTuber, apparently, Will of the Fans, man. Doctor Who specialist himself. Take it away.
Well, someone's got to do it. It's a dirty job, but you've got to do it. Howdy, everybody. It is I, Will of the Fans. Will is my name. See what I did there? Happy to be here for episode 69. Nice. Especially after as Hypnotic said, having a ridiculously crazy week of slapping new woke Doctor Who and all of the idiots who are responsible for making it, chiefly Russell T. Davies, on a daily basis. It's been a hell of a run. Doctor Who fans don't seem to have lost a shred of their anger over the last few years and are every bit as passionate as I remember them being in 2017, which is fantastic because fans really do have a right to be angry when people come in to your house and take a shit on your rug. We're sick of being insulted. We're fed up with having our intelligence mocked. So I give people a place where they can vent their frustrations at censorship, bullying, and insanity of the woke. Together, we can avenge the properties that have been killed by the radical leftists and, of course, even maybe save the occasional one. Let's get into it.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. And then we also have Atreus himself, man. Take it away.
Yo, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Atreus, professional shit talker, bringing you all the crazy niggadry and niggadom that's going on. Man, just give me a moment. Don't laugh. Yeah, don't laugh. Yeah, but yeah, though, over on my channel, man, we do live streams talking about all the pop culture stuff, and I'm here every Saturday to talk shit with the rest of the fellas, and shout out to Hypnotic for making this show happen every week and bringing on an actual, respectable racist on the show today. You know what? I don't really like Ryan, but you know what? I can get behind racist Asians because they have the audacity to bring it straight to your face. The fresh sound of when you walk in that store and the first thing you hear is "you buy," and you don't even get a chance to look around.
Now who's making racist stereotypes?
What do you want?
What you want?
I respect that shit. Unlike the fucking Ryans out here who gotta pretend like they're we gotta pretend and shit, put on a smiling face.
They pretend to be on your side and all that. You know what's up. You know what's up. All right, man. We got Dragon Slayer commentaries. Take it away.
Hey, thanks so much again for the show. This is going to be a really fun time, especially with the pseudo female on the show. Okay, it's all good. We're gonna have fun. And for all you bastards, I never believed. Guess what? After this show's over, I only got a few things I need to do, and a new video will be coming out in a few days.
I'm not
But
buying
you know what?
What?
Oh, I am.
Are you nuts?
I will send y'all the fucking screenshot of the receipt to the end. Y'all are gonna just faint. Hopefully not die. I hope not. That's not can't be that much of a shocker. But yeah, I just make funny commentary with enough details in it that I'm surprised I can summarize so many shitty things of Hollywood in such short spans of time, honestly. But yeah, that's me.
3 months summarizing.
No, 3 months of not being able to do anything, and now I get back to it.
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right, man. Last but not least, of course, Mr. Coach MC, he who honestly just dresses way better than all of us. Take it away, sir.
Just because you dress like a cocaine distributor doesn't mean you
No, but the thing is, it fits me. It's just,
It fits him. It fits him.
Damn,
Okay,
bro, you
Coach.
jealous?
I don't
the
mind
cocaine gear
anymore. My
doesn't
reputation is ruined. I'm an actor for over 25 years in the industry, so my reputation is ruined anyways. I drank the Kool-Aid, I came back from it, and now I make acting tips videos on my channel. It's the Coach MC Studio, where I help young performers, creators, artists, people who want to, shout out their stories, who want to be perceived with good work, where we kind of work on your skill set, where we work on your strategy, on your mindset, to kind of fulfill your mission, whatever it is. As a creator, as an artist, there are many acting tips videos, many mindset tips videos, many stuff that you can use for your creative endorsement. Every month we have 4 free masterclasses where I share our insights from the acting industry and from the madness of what it is to be on set for 18 years straight, every day on the studio lot, 5 days a week, 12 hours a day, and all the things that I've learned, I share with the creative community. I'd be more than honored to be part of this community as long as this community over here exists, because this is, to me, the best community that exists on YouTube. Thank you so much, Hypnotic, for making this happen every Saturday night. I feel like I'm together with family, with brothers, with good people, with people that I somehow, I don't know why, trust, that I like to talk with, that I like to exchange with, that I like to kind of pop up at their shows and be nasty and be funky and be weird with them. I can open myself up and be totally me, and this is a great opportunity. So thank you so much to all the panel members. Thank you so much to Project Eggroll to join the Crazy Tribe today. Let's be about quality, about fun, and it's about destroy Babylon, bring down the walls, and finally kind of shout out our message. Let's do this.
Coach, just
Absolutely,
admit that you sell your cocaine to Atreus and he distributes it. It's fine. It's fine.
We have enough.
Before we get into any of the topics, Jeremy, you left a comment saying the goobers over at r/saltier than crate have found your video about Doctor Who's Christopher Eccleston are whining about you. I pulled it up if you want to take a look at it. I pulled up the Reddit where they're throwing a fit about you.
Oh, really? About me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
about
your,
you and your
video about Christopher Eccleston saying that he would only come back to Doctor Who if they sacked Russell T Davies and his entire team.
Oh yeah, no, that explains because I got a lot of comments from it seemed like the same person just in multiple different accounts where it's like they're all saying the same exact thing, and they basically took what I said and twisted it a little bit because all I said was like the guy is attacking known woke people. Like I didn't say that he wasn't woke or that. You know, they just taking it way out of anyway. It just doesn't matter.
They tried to do that in my comments as well.
If you want to share the screen real quick, it's super funny. Just like to see what these individuals are saying.
Snaky bastards!
Stop twisting words. Fit your narrative. And it's got 25 comments of people just being like, oh, "Does he know that Eccleston is also woke?" Like this is gold. Thank you, Jeremy.
They are snaky Reddit bastards who should hang from lampposts.
I like it though.
That's Reddit though. In general,
this is great.
It makes me happy when my videos get on Reddit because I'm like, all right, we're getting somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love it.
Call it a regime. The projection of these pro-Trump dictator high king wankers.
Y'all just gonna sit there and listen to Hypnotic just shit on everybody. Oh, my videos on Reddit, SpongeBob.
I've had people doing that as well.
I'd love to see an Atreus thread on Reddit.
Well, listen, Atreus, I didn't ask you on. I didn't ask to be on Reddit. They kind of just put me there, so you know.
They do that. Yeah, they came into my videos as well. They were saying things like that as well to me. One of them was like, "How sad! I bet you also voted for Brexit." And I said, "No, actually, that was before my red pill. That was back when I used to believe everything I heard on TV. So I voted to remain." Then that's
the kind of thing that makes it ridiculous, man. When they automatically, and we'll get into it because we got a lot of topics we got to cover today. But you know, when it comes to this whole like woke versus non-woke and whatever conversation, they always, whatever someone disagrees with them, it always has to be a Trump supporting guy who disagrees with them. Even if they know or they don't know whether or not you support Trump or not, it doesn't matter to them. If somebody's disagreeing with them, you're immediately a Trump supporter. And I don't know why that is a correlation. Like, why does it have to be that? Like, you're just crazy.
For the record, if I get posted on any forum, it'll probably be Black Planet or some shit. That should piss me off.
But the thing that amazes me the most is that you guys, I mean, I live here now and I love the States. I love the people here. I love everything about this country, almost everything. But the thing that you guys have just two parties is truly amazing. Like over there in Europe, you have just, like a bunch of different parties. Of course, granted, most of them are corrupt as well. And they're all kind of, driven by similar agendas, but at least they give you like the illusion of having more choice. At least there's a little bit more diversification with candidates and party programs and stuff like that.
Right. It's just it's really stupid, man, and it becomes a very cultish like behavior, which I mean we already know that's kind of how it goes. But still, just to see that response as one of the top, how does it work? Like that's the top voted comment or one of the top voted comments, I guess.
Well, that's the wave. That's the wave that's going to happen. Like I mentioned last week, the election year, and so they're prepping, they're getting ready, and now you're seeing them attack Rob Liefeld. They're attacking Mark Miller. They're attacking like local comic book shops. That's what they're doing. It's just it's going to get worse and worse and worse. So
we're also going to talk about that
just
tonight.
So you know, Chan, what a comic book is. It's kind of like manga, but there's color.
Nice.
You're trying to start a war now, Leon.
I like that.
Racist.
You could also have pointed out that you read in the other direction.
Yeah.
I read from right to left.
Ryan, you better shut up.
That's a preemptive strike right there.
A freshly transitioned friend only cares about color.
Oh
my god,
it kind of goes hand in hand. But listen, guys, we got a lot to talk about. The two main things that we're going to cover tonight is obviously Doctor Who.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about the leak. There's been a leak of Doctor Who's new season that a lot of people are talking about, and there's a reason why people are believing it. A couple of reasons why, but one prominent reason. And we're also going to talk about a little bit of the Civil War going on in American comics. There's two different sides of writers kind of going at it on Twitter right now, and that kind of follows the story after the comic book shop owner got attacked by like Marvel and DC writers. They're all calling him out of touch, whatever. It shows that it's starting to spill over, and it's kind of like, I don't know if it's because like what Coach said, like election season is coming, and things are just starting to become a little more prominent in terms of politics being the topic of conversation for everybody. But it's definitely out there now, and seeing these two guys go at it, who worked for both sides, mind you, Marvel and DC, is very interesting to see the dynamic that's happening online right now. So we'll kind of go into it, and plus we're gonna talk about a little bit of other things too. But let's start off with Doctor Who. That's the prominent story going on right now, and
I'm so
it's
happy
also
to talk about that. I can see myself in Doctor Who.
He's black now, so I don't know.
I'm not. I don't know what the fuck y'all talking about. I didn't even know who Doctor Who was before 2
I'm
years.
with you, Trish.
Good.
No, guys, I mean,
Good.
No, I have to
black
admit
scared
it
Doctor
hasn't.
Who.
Wasn't my most favorite.
It's one of the ones that, like, a lot of people don't seem to realize Doctor Who went really far down the woke rabbit hole before even The Last Jedi came out. It beat Star Wars to the punch by about a year, pissing everybody off, and it happened for a few years before that. So
even people like John Cleese were complaining about the fact that Doctor Who was going bogus way before the main wave of Vogue actually started. And
No, go on.
No, I mean, Doctor Who to me was one of those major red flags. Because I thought to myself, even though I wasn't a huge fan of the product, I saw some episodes that I didn't really catch, and some episodes really have blown me away. And so I wasn't like a huge fan, but I enjoyed it. To me, it was always great watching Doctor Who because it's always it's like Twilight Zone. You never know what you get, but it's always kind of different and interesting. And therefore, I was kind of following from there. And to me, I knew that Doctor Who is a holy grail to you Brits. So if you are daring to touch such a holy grail, that means you're in power. And therefore, I was concerned because I realized, oh my God, if they're starting with Doctor Who, this is one of the biggest players in the game, and in terms of IP, in terms of culture.
It's like the royal family. That's how British it is. That's how like tied into our fucking culture the show is.
I mean, I was a shock.
For when you consider that it's a show about a guy from another planet who travels around time and space in a phone booth that is bigger on the inside and has crazy fantastical adventures, you wouldn't think, oh well, that sounds very, very British, but watch it. It is exceedingly British. It's as British as tea and fucking scones.
Super fucking funny.
And it's great fun. It was a great fun show. And one of the things that really pissed me off the first announcement that they were in fact going to have the Doctor regenerate into a woman like 6-7 years ago was that you've lost a male role model for young boys, because the Doctor doesn't do things the way that you'd normally see in action movies or adventure. There's no guns. He doesn't very often hit people or anything like that. He solves these problems and beats the bad guys by being smarter than them, by being better educated, being prepared, and having
by using the circumstances into his favor. Right, he's a smart guy.
That was it. So it was, I was disappointed for like little boys who are going to have like have lost this role model. It's been taken from them. But then of course they just went hell for leather at breaking the lore, the history of the character, and everything remotely associated with it. Excuse me, that's a fucking alarm.
Beautiful.
I thought that was Leona.
I was gonna say
little pre-Christmas
ringtone. I was thinking that was Leona. But,
it did sound like it, didn't it?
It's moon time for Leona.
I'm gonna call out.
It did sound like
my alarm screams, "Wake up, homo!"
I genuinely thought that.
Wake up, homo!
That's really relevant. It says Double Whiskey for 2. New season of Doctor Who was filmed in the Senate. Yeah.
Probably
Makes sense.
Secret's out. I'm on the production crew.
So before my stupid first alarm went off there, which is the gentle one, the second one is like heavy metal to make sure I'm awake. It's true. it was a real fucking annoying thing when they went in and they decided we're going to change the history of the character. We're going to change. We're going to do everything we possibly can to undermine the actors who've played the Doctor throughout the years, and break the story. And then the show was basically dead. The fans had walked away. The fans had vanished. So then they announced that they were bringing back the guy who had initially saved the show in 2005 by bringing it back, the guy who made it as big as it got. And they were bringing back David Tennant, who had played the 10th Doctor, which was by far the peak of Doctor Who in terms of popularity worldwide. Then they proceeded to have that Doctor get emasculated, come out of the closet as gay. Everybody in it is preaching to him about trans this and pride that. And it just, by the end, it just became an absolute farce. And now the final blow has been dealt when the regeneration of the Doctor into the new Doctor retroactively fucks all the other regenerations and means that all of the previous actor, Doctor, whatever's are all alive at the same time. The stakes are gone. The universe.
But would there be a way of bringing him back? Is there any way to reconstruct this after this mess? If you
somebody came up with an idea that you could, I mean, you either have the 12th Doctor wake up and it was all a dream. He never became a woman.
Well, I have a question. Will. I was told today there's only supposed to be 12 regenerations of the Doctor, and that they eliminated the female Doctor because technically she's the 13th.
Initially, they had to find a pretty clever way to retcon that to give the Doctor more regenerations. Initially, they're only supposed to be able to regenerate 12 times. Or 13 13 bodies, 12 regenerations in between, but that's been messed with a little bit here and there in the show. Like the 10th Doctor got his hand cut off when he first became the 10th Doctor, and then it grew back because he was still regenerating, so he kept his extra hand around in a jar. And then when he got shot, he started to regenerate, so he just pointed the energy at his hand and regenerated back into himself. So he didn't change actors. It was a bait and switch. It was a cliffhanger one week, but that technically did spend one of his regenerations. So then, he's
it sounds like an absolute mess.
Yeah. Actually, that was actually when the show was doing stuff like this clever.
I would probably understand it a little bit better, but unfortunately, I'm not a Doctor Who fan.
Just give it the Final Fantasy 14 treatment at this point. Just end it all in some big cataclysm, and then he wakes up in that
was epic though.
That was
I want to talk about this real quick. Hold on. So now this leak that they're talking about, right, about Shruti Gatwa's, freaking ultra gay,
so
whatever. This is the new Doctor for those. I'm just making the screen bigger. This is the new Doctor for those who don't know. I'm sure everybody knows who's watching. Obviously, Shruti Gatwa is going to take over as a 15th Doctor. But apparently, the leak is confirming that he is going to fall in love with a male love interest of a female in the show. Is that right, Will? It's kind of like a love triangle sort of a thing that's going on now.
Well, he's gonna have a female assistant or companion. But then he's going to end up having a love interest who's a man as well, apparently, or something like that.
No.
Yeah, I'm looking for where it says.
Like, what is
this? I'm waiting for.
So it says, showrunner Russell T Davies is supposedly looking to move away from the expected romance between a Time Lord and his female companion, and a love triangle is unexpected. So it looks like he's going to just be solely into dudes.
I love the time when people were thinking about a show in terms of, hey, we don't have any creative critical mass anymore at our disposition to feed the show after 10 years. Let's finish the show. It was a nice, successful run. Thank you so much to our audience. And not reinventing shows based on, all right, let's have him change his sex and be in her, she changes sex as well. So they have a triangular type of situation. With both. It's like, what the fuck is this? Like,
I can give you an answer to that. There is this show on Netflix that obviously will never get a second season. It was one called Half Bad, The Bastard Son and the Devil Himself. Basically, in that show, they do this exact thing you are telling me, where for some reason, the main character is either gay already or becomes gay / bisexual halfway through the show. And then they're probably going to rope in that female character so that she becomes a love interest too. She's just kind of there as the third wheel anyway.
Right.
You're gonna try to do that. I'm
I
sorry.
got a headache. This sounds like
How does that answer the question, Dragon?
No, I'm just telling him that's what's gonna happen. That's what they're gonna try to do because they all repeat the same shit.
Dr. Homosexual coming to you live on BBC One.
No, Doctor
Actually, it was on BBC Two.
Metrosexual.
Is
One
this-
of those.
But you
is
know
this a
what
paid
annoys
service?
me though
But it-
is that when this comes out, right? Whenever they tend to make a prominent character of a TV show gay or whatever, you're gonna have a whole bunch of websites out there with writers that are gonna be reaching to the moon to try to find any excuse to say that the show
This
was
is-
always gay,
Yeah.
that it was
yeah.
always queer, it was
Oh,
always
yeah.
this or whatever. And I'll give you an example because I found one already. I didn't think I would, but you know, Digital Spy apparently put out an article saying that Doctor Who's doctor has always been queer. So
Yeah,
what's
I did
the
a video
problem?
about that.
You know, you get these articles, and it really is a far reach because they always mention things. It's kind of like when they said that Link was always trans or always whatever, you know, always queer.
When
They-
are
Godzilla was always
Godzilla was always a LGBTQ, like whatever. They try to find ways to make these characters into LGBTQ icons, and it's like, bro, why are you reaching so far? Like you're literally Mr. Fantastic. You're reaching so unbelievably far, it's ridiculous, and it doesn't make any fucking sense. Like
No.
you would just be better off just running off with your new, you know, you want to call it woke, you want to call it progressive, whatever. Like I think Shooty Gatwa called it a leftist bubble thing, whatever.
He did, yeah.
You would be better off just running off with that. You know what I mean? Don't go reaching so far that you're just obviously fucking lying because people not going to take what you say seriously at all.
No, they
you know?
don't. Doctor Who fans especially are extremely passionate. They really are because, of course,
Which
it's-
explains all the crazy comments and stuff like that.
Seriously,
You watch the show?
I'm
I didn't even know if I
impressed
asked
how
you.
your videos have been doing because my Doctor Who videos have been my most ratio videos of any I've done. Like I'm sitting in the 30 and 40% thumbs up with everything being thumbs down and all of them coming at me about how Doctor Who is amazing.
Because
how
you're a
how-
tranny.
You're a
Because you're a
white,
tranny.
you're a male, you're a white presenting male.
I
You
mean,
understand?
it actually,
With me,
yeah,
they're
that actually
unsure.
is
They don't
true.
really
Like,
know, so they got to be careful, right? If they go for the full on, then I could just pull a race card on them. You know what I'm saying? Just come out
I
of
think
nowhere
it's-
and just fucking
So
slap
from now
them.
on, I'm gonna do all my Doctor Who videos in full Leona. That's
just
the plan.
just
That's
fact
the way to
check
do
it
it.
with me first, basically.
Stunning
I
and
think,
brave.
Chan, do
But
you
here's-
watch the show? I didn't remember if I asked you. Do you watch the show?
Oh yeah.
So I stopped after Smith. So I didn't get into Capaldi. I heard a lot of people like Capaldi, but that's when
Capaldi
I
was
stopped.
excellent, but the stuff that he was given to do was total shite. It was it got worse and worse, and then it got woke, and then he regenerated. The last series with Capaldi, he had an assistant who was a diverse girl who had a male name, Bill, and in almost every scene she was in, she had to do something to remind you that she was a lesbian. And that was right before like people kind of got mass snapped out of it by the first series with the woman. But people were starting to complain, like on the forums. It's like, why can't the show shut the hell up about like sexuality and stuff like that lately? And it was one of the first moments where I'd started to notice that this was happening a lot in a lot of TV shows, but it hadn't. It didn't quite red pill me, to use that expression.
The Doctor was surrounded by wokeness, but it was still the Doctor, and
It was
then
still
it
the
got
Doctor.
penetrated by wokeness when the Doctor became a disgusting female who's completely unlikely.
Now, in the last episode that had Peter Capaldi's 12th Doctor in it, it was called Twice Upon a Time. It was a Christmas or New Year episode, I can't remember. And they had him accidentally run into the first Doctor, who was being played by David Bradley instead of William Hartnell, because William Hartnell's long dead. And basically the episode just made a constant mockery of the first Doctor because he was acting with sort of 1960s attitudes and stuff like that. So at every possible opportunity, they would even the current Doctor at the time would sort of query the things he was saying and doing.
That's horrible, man.
If you wanted to drink whiskey on the TARDIS or something like that, or or he said something about a woman that was
Or
maybe a little
slapping
outdated.
Bill's bottom as a punishment.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they wrote all
I
that
just think
crap.
that Doctor Who is getting the change that it deserves. I mean, after that and 007, you Brits are losing. The patriarchy is losing, and you love to see it.
No, it's
What?
it's the same scheme everywhere. It's
That's
the same
too
scheme
fucking
everywhere,
accurate,
right?
Leona.
Hey,
Ah.
he's been practicing for a while. This is why he is fully transitioned.
Oh,
If you
you
missed
said
the
he.
intro, oh, I misgendered. Fuck.
You
I'm
fucked
done.
up, Hypno.
That's it.
Apologize
Canceled.
now.
Canceled, demonetized. And you know what's
takes the
crazy
comment
too?
for you.
YouTube's like automated systems would totally fucking pick that
I
up
can
too.
believe it.
They would think that Leona's actually trans and
And you
I'm
just done it.
actually misgendering and I'm really fucked. I'm
Yeah.
done. But lucky
Well,
for
if
me,
that's the
I
case,
turned
then-
off
Not on the front page,
monetization
right? You
before the
take
stream
it.
started. I didn't
The
want to
front
even
page.
bother with it. We get demonetized every stream. I didn't even bother this time. I said fuck it, whatever.
Yeah.
Hit the like button to save the stream.
Yes, hit the like button, please. That would
Hopefully-
help a lot.
Hopefully, the AI is based or reality based and only targets Atreus.
Wow.
Oh wow! Wow.
Why him? He's just sitting
Statistically
there.
speaking, Atreus would target you first. So you would be screwed first. just
Like
so you
all,
know.
all Atreus needs to do is just say
Wakanda
You fucking-
Unana.
what?
What? Oh my god.
Why?
Random.
Double racism on two separate
Random
groups.
racism.
You guys realize that Ryan does this because he's safe in his cardboard bubble, right? Like he's not actually in any danger. He's
The
never even
impenetrable
seen a black
cardboard.
person in his life. Like he lives.
Unfortunately, I have.
No, I highly doubt it.
They're
But,
infiltrating my neighborhood, my community. Me and my
Oh,
father are
Lord.
very worried, and we're going to gather all of our people to defend our land.
Yeah.
All of what, like 10 people?
Defend the
Like,
land, baby.
you live in
Defend
an area with a population of like 100. It's like,
No, more like
Half of you are
30,000.
related.
30,000
Oh
of
my
that
God.
poor. That's rough. Sorry.
Oh,
it.
shit.
Yeah.
But
Sorry for the sheep.
what I will say,
This
Oh,
link,
padre.
what I
Fuck
will
you,
say, though, what
DSP.
I will say is the whole the Shurigawa thing about making it into a leftist bubble haven, right? Like the thing that
That's
annoys me
literally
about that is that, you know, people like Shuri, that what they do is that and we say it all the time, right? They insert themselves into whatever they do. And I don't know if it's necessarily him, although I'm sure he's loving this, right? But I don't know if it's him or Russell T Davies that's really doing it. It's probably Russell T Davies that's really doing it. But they're just using Shuri as a means to, a means to their end. But this is basically, this is Dr. Shurigawa. This is not Doctor Who. Like this if this leak is accurate and everything that we're reading is true, then this is basically just Shurigawa story. Like it's just a gay male, and it's going to be all about leftist ideology, very much focused on sexual orientation. That's what the show seems to be focused on, according to the
Doctor
leak.
sex education.
The other thing
And
that's
they're gonna have a part in it where they talk about why he's black, like his race. And so they're gonna have a part of the episode focused about his race. They're gonna have
So
a part
first
of the
of all,
episode
that
talk about
doesn't
his
even make
sexual
sense.
orientation.
That
You know?
doesn't even make sense because in the stupid fucking run with Jodie Whittaker and Chris Chibnall, they retconned the history of the Doctor so that William Hartnell was no longer the first Doctor. There were, in fact, thousands of regenerations before the first Doctor, apparently. And it all started with a little black girl. So that would mean that the Doctor started off black, in which case there's no significance to the fact that he's now black. So they shouldn't talk about it. The conversation should basically be, hey, Doctor, you changed color. He'll be like, oh, yeah, wow. Oh, well, I've been black before. The end. That would,
Yeah,
that
but
would
see,
be,
that doesn't allow them to do what they want to do.
but now they
you
got to
know?
make it into a big deal because it's the first black Doctor. But even
These
though
are the
it's
kind
not,
of people that they will have Shurigawa be the Doctor, right? And let's say they race swap them back white for a little while, and then 5 years later they have another black Doctor. They'll say, "Oh, this is the first time we've seen." They'll probably make it a black woman just so they can
they'll
use
have
the
to do
first
that,
title
yeah.
again. They can say, "Oh, you know."
they actually already had a black woman Doctor. She
Did they?
wasn't in sequence. Like she appeared in the show as a second character talking to the female Doctor. There was also a black female Doctor who was like the first hint that there were other regenerations. But you know this leak about the fact that there's going to be a romance with a dude, right? I actually had to look at this, and this is Russell T Davies copying his own work, because in the first and second seasons of the modern Doctor Who with Christopher Eccleston and David Tennant's first series, the Doctor falls in love with Rose, who is played by Billie Piper, who is, an actual woman, unlike the new Rose in the modern episodes. And basically, she falls in love with the Doctor, even though she already has a boyfriend, who is a black dude called Mickey, who is a great character, actually. But the point is, they're now saying that in the new series that's going to come out next year, Ruby, the assistant's boyfriend, is going to fall in love with the Doctor.
This writer
Correct.
is gay, isn't he?
So he's just copying his own.
Yeah.
No, because he said no. That comment you highlighted. Hold on. No,
David Opie. Oh, I can't say what he is.
No, because he said
He's an
like
Opie.
Isaac Newton's
He's a
hotness
bundle of
was
sticks.
obvious.
Ship him to North Korea at once.
David has
Fucking
spoken on
bundle of
numerous
sticks.
LGBTQ panels to discuss queer representation, and in 2020, he created the Rainbow Crew interview series, which celebrates LGBTQ talent on both sides of the camera via video content and long-form reads.
I'm a
Getting
fucking
really tired
wizard.
of these
Hypno.
white
I'm a fucking
masses.
wizard.
talking for us.
I
He's
can
a bad
tell
guy.
these people from a mile away.
It's always a white dude, and if it's a white dude, he's probably gay. He's never straight,
Yeah.
usually, when they're writing
Yeah.
it. It's
Has
pretty
AIDS.
ridiculous. Probably, most likely. It is
Yeah.
quite bad.
Anyone like this, where they tried to, I read this one in a video that I did as well, and it fucking infuriated me because it is absolute bollocks. They basically tried to say that the Doctor has gone on record and said things like, "Oh well, because he's from another planet that's a more advanced version of humanity that's learned how to travel through time and stuff. They evolved beyond the pathetic gender roles that we have here on Earth." And to some extent that is the case, but they never ever made any kind of big deal about it whatsoever until the modern run, where they suddenly became obsessed with having Time Lords regenerate into the opposite
Well, I'm glad
sex.
you used that word, the modern run, because I hate that when people who are so desperate to seek validation in anything, they will twist what existed prior, and they'll twist it based off their modern beliefs or their modern definition, right? So you have this comment right here from this writer that says it's literally been a week since a doctor confirmed that apparently he's gender fluid, non-binary identity by describing himself as a man, a woman, both, and neither, and far less time than that has passed for him within the show. So apparently someone as Doctor Who has the power to regenerate, right? Which he can regenerate into anything, which is just a sci-fi thing. They're taking a sci-fi thing and then turning it into, oh, well, that's just validation that he is non-binary. He's gender fluid because he says he's neither man nor woman, no whatever. It's very much reaching, obviously. It's like that old clip. Remember the video I did on the old clip that's been going around that they're like, oh, what was the creature they were talking about in that first old clip from the 70s? I forget.
Oh, Alpha Centauri, the
Alpha Centauri, yeah,
the
because
alien delegate.
they were like, is it a he? Is
A
it a
weird
she?
gremlin thing.
And
And
they said
they
it's-
took that comment as people from the 70s talking about, is it a he? Is it a she? And they're like, see, confirmation. It's gender
They had
fluid, non-binary.
pronouns. Yeah.
Like, what? Are you
They
kidding me?
used to
This is
say
so
that
funny.
people in the 70s were discussing preferred pronouns, which they
No, right.
didn't and weren't and had no concept of it.
Like retroactively kind of inserting your identity into the canon, into the IP. So later in the future, you have the certified validation to do whatever you want with the character. Instead of writing your own fucking story or going into stories where you could easily exploit, whatever sexual theme you want to exploit. Because by all means, there surely is a little audience somewhere on this planet that likes to see, shows about, right, the exploration of sexuality, of gender, of all these things. And, create a show for those people instead of hijacking a show and going, one thing you have to admire about this agenda, they are really they are stubborn, right?
Tenacious bastards, yeah.
They are tenacious bastards. I mean, they don't care, right? We go in there and with the ever same technique, we hijack the IP and kind of turn it inside out. Or
Subvert, insult, hijack, change.
Insinuate. It's
implied that it was always
attack
like
the
this.
fans that, of course, come to defend the IP because, guess what? Right? They identified with the culture that the IP represents. And therefore, if you twist something so fundamental, of course, they're going to show up and say, hey, wait a second. We have seen it with Rings of Power and with all the other shows, right? So
Hey, he said it. Dragon
General
Slayer
Vague
didn't say.
says,
Wow.
General
Maybe
Vague
I'm
says, I
right.
think the race swapping of Isaac Newton was them trolling. And they actually missed a big opportunity when they race swapped Isaac Newton. They should have done is made him gay, which would explain why Isaac Newton never had kids. You would there have canon reason that such a stud never procreated.
I am not used to Leona. I'm trying to. I'm just not.
the thing is,
Ilka Bulgarian for 2 says Doctor Who is just as British as Prince Harry's wife.
Oh,
Yeah,
Lord.
I still get that. I mean,
That's
it's
kinda deep
It is
now.
now, maybe. Yeah,
That is
back,
deep.
way back when it was about as British as anything could possibly be.
Panther 111 for 5 says it's my birthday. Can I have a chaos? Is a wonderful thing. Absolutely, sir.
Chaos is a wonderful, wonderful thing.
Happy birthday,
Happy
man.
birthday.
Enjoy your birthday. Thank you for the Here's a question for Ryan. MSK Content Entertainment for 2 says, which one of you guys gets the most girls? I don't know who gets the most girls, but I could guarantee you Ryan gets the least. So that I can
You have
pretty much
no
guarantee.
proof to substantiate any of your allegations
That
against me.
hairline is proof enough, and that
Atreus-
consistent robe is proof enough.
Atreus gets the most girls because he grapes them.
Wow.
my
That's terrible. That is
I'm
terrible.
Damn,
assume
bro.
Shan
What's
gets
with
most
the
girls
racial
because they
stereotypes?
bleed like rabbits.
That ain't even a racial stereotype. Where you pulling that from? The one,
Yeah, that's strong.
the one incel on the
OJ Simpson.
Ryan,
Is he innocent? Atreus?
Ryan.
Is OJ innocent?
Oh wow!
Ryan, Atreus is not R. Kelly. You got the wrong
If the FBI came in here and said we need to check hard drives, I'm saying check Ryan's first. I'm just saying.
I'm
I
checking
don't
Ryan's
have
hard
a
drive
fucking
first.
hard drive to check.
Oh, that's right. You have like a.
Oh, that's
what
right.
are
You
you
can
streaming
afford
on,
one.
a
They're
fucking
like
Google
$2
Chromebook?
for like a 10 gigabyte one. Come on.
Now, Atreus, is OJ innocent?
Oh my God. What?
Zombie Box Reviews for 5 says I was going to tell Leon to go F himself, but seeing that he regenerated, now he can. There you go.
Good
Yeah, that's
one,
the other
boy.
thing that's extremely
Not funny.
frustrating.
Use my dead
Dan,
name.
what
not
do you
funny.
what do you think of this nonsense, man? Come on.
Who?
Dan.
Me?
Oh, Chan, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry.
okay,
Sorry.
to you, Mr. Eggman.
Call-
Mr. Egg-
calling on you.
So, I think if these crazy people who wants to just like hijack like Doctor Who and stuff like that, it's already been a dead IP for like almost a decade, right? And like we already have a very good character that was a part of the LGBTQ group, like that whole entire sphere. Like we had Captain Jack, and
Yep.
that's not one of his like first things. It's like like what's the best thing you like about Captain Jack? Oh, because he's gay. It's like no, is he pan? It's like, oh, that doesn't matter because he's a badass character, right?
Yeah.
So like, and I think that's how I view a lot of things that like these crazy Hollywood folks that are like, oh, the reason why this show is good, this movie is good, is because the main character is gay, or is it they them or whatever. It's like, no, bitch, like no one fucking cares. It's like why did like Oberyn Martell? Not because he's bi. Is because he's a badass character. So it's just make badass characters. It's like, oh, this person's also gay. It's like, okay, cool then, whatever. It is what it is, right? So I think if
Captain Jack was great.
yeah,
Superman's a pretty
the
badass character. He
pansexuality-
sucks cock now. That didn't make him any cooler. So
Technically, his son, I think, sucks.
That's
cock,
his
right?
son.
Yeah,
His
it's
son
not-
that
fair
sucks
enough.
now,
Was
yeah.
that Lee
you know.
poking through Leona's facade there for a second?
And
Yeah.
keep in mind, in
Leona does
German,
make a good point
the
on
owner
the
is a
Superman
sausage,
thing,
right?
because
If you
we are
say-
only one generation away from it being all over, all of your kids being corrupted, all of them being Senate staffed, and Atreus still hasn't answered my OJ is
Senate
innocent
staff.
question.
Is that what we're calling that? Senate staff?
Atreus, is OJ innocent? Answer the question. Answer it
Why the fuck are you asking me? I don't care.
because you're black. Answer it. Answer the question.
I don't think he has the facilities for that, man.
Answer
Oh
it.
my god, you two
Oh,
would
God.
make a really good duo.
Is he innocent? Is
Oh.
OJ innocent?
Nigga,
Course
I
not.
don't know.
what does your gut feeling tell you?
Like, why the fuck would I know the answer to that question?
Oh shit!
Were you even alive when that happened?
Oh.
I was
I
alive.
was.
I wasn't giving a fuck. That's
That's hilarious. The Rogue Attraction. What's up, man? How you doing? It says thought on the increase in black Santas.
There will be an increase
I
in
actually
robberies.
I did see a few, ironically, recently. I
Really?
saw a few black. Yeah,
Why
I
are
saw
we
a few
focusing on black
Santas.
Santas when we should be focusing on the real problem? Is that Mrs. Claus does not get any representation. No one goes out and buys
Oh my
Mrs.
God.
Claus statues.
Mrs.
I seen
Claus
I
can
seen
get
a-
some
I tell you
representation going out in the streets. All right.
I seen
That's
I
because Mrs.
seen
Claus is a turf.
I seen a black Santa recently at the mall. Let me tell you something, man.
Was he
There
stealing?
was nobody there, man.
Yeah, they were afraid they were going to get their shit stolen. That's why. You're
Nobody
honest.
there. I mean, nobody wants to see the idea of a BBC Santa Claus and their child sitting in his lap. Nobody
I thought it was because you didn't want their kids to get their change stolen or something. But
That's
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah, so innocent, Will. So innocent. No. Trey has had more nefarious plans.
I mean, technically, if
Yeah,
you're
why
paying
would
to
that?
take pictures with a black Santa, you're getting robbed anyway, because that's not really Santa.
That's,
so.
at least you got better evidence.
Black
Doesn't-
Santa
doesn't
is
really
more
matter.
accurate, especially because he goes down the chimney, gets dirty, his face and his hands are covered in soot. So I think white Santa should just
No.
himself
It's easier.
and-
No,
and
listen to
face.
me, Ryan. It's easier to believe you were Santa Claus at one point.
Oh, yeah.
I can see
Got
you
the
falling
beard.
down the chimney
Yes,
and your
Santa Claus.
hairline getting pushed back as it scrubs up against the goddamn brick wall.
It's also very easy to believe that he has an army of slaves as well. So
Plus, it's more believable than Ryan likes blackface. So.
Atreus makes a good point because I would never give Christmas presents to fucking Africans and third world shitholes.
for God's sake.
I swear to God, we can have an
Okay,
entire
Chase?
stream. We can
You're
seriously
killing
have an entire stream of Atreus and Ryan going at it. I swear to God, if I didn't stop them, they would just nonstop go at us. Speaking of which,
genuinely
Zombie
think
Box
that
review
we
for
should have a
five.
show.
Oh, I already read this one. Justin Atkins Solar for $9.99. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Says, speaking of gay representation, Beat Takeshi, one of Japan cinematic heavy hitters, has a new movie coming out with gay stuff. Will it be good? Yes, because he cares about his story first. America, take notes. There you go.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
Well, that's
Fair
the thing.
enough,
That's what
yeah,
we've always
those are-
been saying. If you make a good story, that's the problem for them. Their personality, their story, their entire character arc, everything has to do with who they sleep with in their bedroom. That's
That's
what the American writer is writing in their
That's
stories.
what you've been told is the most important thing. That's what is
Yeah.
constantly reinforced through education and everything else.
Yeah.
That's why we are only one generation.
Well, you
away from
gotta imagine, right?
collapse.
If characters are being written to only be about their sexuality, it's because they're being written by people who also only believe in their sexuality, and that's it. A lot of these
Exactly.
people who are more on the activist side of the LGBTQ, they are all through their like everything has to do with who they sleep with. Everything, like their entire importance as a person, their entire personality, what they're able to do and just accomplish in life has to start and end with who they sleep with in their bedroom, which is just fucking stupid. It's absolutely weird. It's
They
just
want to
it's dumb.
penetrate everything. That's
Yeah.
their problem. That's how they
Well, we
spread it.
penetrated the White House now, so
Yes, they penetrate
that's
everything.
true.
And once
And now
it gets
it's all
in,
gay.
once it goes into your mind, it's like an infection. Think of it like an infective agent. So the
Oh,
more
God.
people they fuck over,
AIDS, yeah.
mentally or physically, like AIDS, yes, Will. The more people they fuck over mentally or physically of all ages, because they are sick
Yeah.
bastards, it spreads like a virus through society. That's why for thousands of years, the only thing Christians, Jews, and Muslims ever agreed on was that sodomy was a bad thing. There
That
you go.
is true. Yeah, that is.
when you
Actually,
eventually
that
have kids, they'll be the first ones I come for.
oh,
Oh,
my god,
shit.
that is-
I'll be hanging
that is
you.
a
I don't want to
multi-layered-
see you
Wow.
coming for anything.
Careful now, Ryan. He's coming for
Yeah, you see that works, motherfuckers.
That is a
You gotta put 'em to
multi-layered
work.
comment.
Oh.
Holy shit. We need special victims unit in here. Something like, please help us,
Bro.
God.
This
I
shit
got
got
you. I
dark
mentioned
immediately.
I mentioned that only
Ooh, nice drawing.
because it's hard for different people who believe
Oh, nice.
in a Lord and Savior to agree on the same thing. That's why I made that comment.
Mm.
I mean, you're correct, but
I don't
Yeah.
understand what they're
Dark.
talking about.
What,
This is-
what's
this is-
next?
Welcome to the club. We don't know.
Punches
Yeah,
here.
We don't know.
actually- I mean,
Well, we're talking about
Leona just
Doctor Who
turned that
technically
shit.
right now.
Yeah, we are technically talking about Doctor
Who is a
One
god?
of the thing is, Doctor Who is a BBC.
if you're new to this program, we just need an excuse to rumble.
Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter.
No,
Black Lives Matter.
don't you dare.
And trans people belong here.
No.
Oh my god.
Demonetized.
I could play the anthem
Not
again. at some point today.
demonetized.
We'll see. If we hit $100 in super chats, I'll play the anthem.
How
again.
much did that hat cost you, Atreus?
You heard the man.
That's a beanie.
It's
You're
made.
asking a lot of questions.
It's
I'm
made from.
surprised he implies that Atreus bought the hat.
Hmm. Good
Oh,
one,
boy.
Leona. High five. Come on.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, how much did that
actually
hat
wearing-
cost you, Atreus?
Oh,
Was it more than the jewelry around your neck?
I made it from the noose you have hidden in your closet.
Oh shit! That was good.
Oh god.
So you did steal it.
Got him.
You know, it's sad when the tranny and the racist Brit are ganging up on the poor black guy. Damn, bro.
Poor.
Look at his fucking
You
panels.
see that gold on his neck? Yeah,
Not
gold.
poor as in financially poor, you ignorant bastards.
Yeah, no, Trey definitely has a lot more money than
Oh
Ryan,
my god.
which
Because he stole
unfortunately
it
is not
all.
really saying much considering. But
Dragon Slayer has more money than mine.
That's
That's
because he exhausted all of his funds chasing me in the Underground Railroad when he could have.
I'm sorry, but Ryan doesn't.
He saw
chase me.
Harriet Tubman and you, and he said, "Fuck that woman! I'm going after you, boy."
Now, coming back to the comment, what the hell are we actually talking about? Right?
Yeah.
We're talking about
No
Doctor
shit.
Who. We are supposedly talking about
No,
Doctor
but
Who.
no, seriously. So
Yeah,
with,
what?
with
Well,
shooting
yeah.
out as Doctor, it's very
Mhm.
obvious that, and I want to be clear because he himself has said that they are going to make this into a basically politically driven season. You know, and aren't they
Netflix
rebooting it? Like
liberal
there's so
bubble.
much. There is so much hidden meanings behind a lot of what's happening with this. Obviously, the bi regeneration thing, getting rid of all the other doctors as one singular regenerating doctor and turning it into some
Bi.
like weird universe. And then obviously you have the bi meaning and bi regeneration.
Every time they say
Also,
it,
the fact that they are turning the now new Black Doctor into season 1, so they're rebooting the show in a way. Like they're
That's the
saying
Disney
it's season. Yeah, they're saying it's
Yeah.
a season 1 now. So the entire history of Doctor Who is kind of like whatever.
this would
It
be
just
the third season 1 of Doctor Who at this
yeah.
point.
Yeah, they're just doing a lot of strange things with this. Go ahead,
Who watches this show? Like that's not.
About a quarter.
It's
of
still
the people
it's
who
still
usually
listen,
watch
it's
it.
still fairly popular. Okay, like there is a high amount of viewership. There is nowhere near the amount of viewership it used to have. That's
Not
for
even
sure. But
close,
it's
like a
still
third.
considered technically a highly viewed show.
The third.
You know,
It
I
got
can't- I
like
can't wait.
14 million when David Tennant was regenerating, and now it sits at around 4
4 to 5,
million,
right?
4 to
Yeah.
5. But the female Doctor was considerably lower than that in her last series.
But
She
this
was
is
getting
BBC. This is
2 or
paid by
3.
taxpayer money, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not anymore. It's been
Disney now,
it's-
right?
It's Disney and Sony as a joint venture. They
Oh,
funding
makes
the
sense.
company that Russell T Davis started or something like that called Bad Wolf, which is a reference to a Doctor Who thing. Now they're making it because the BBC can't afford to keep sinking money on this shit. The license fee's getting cancelled in the next couple of years, so the public won't have to fund the BBC anymore. And that is largely because of backlash to what they've done to things like Doctor Who and killing Top Gear and stuff like that. And nobody cares about the BBC anymore because they're so transparently communist. that,
Well, I'd just like to add on what Will is saying is that the license fee went up. I think it's going up £15 for 2024. And considering 2024 is also an election year for the United Kingdom, the Conservative government is likely going to be removed. The Labour government is going to replace it. And no doubt the license fee will be protected for at least the next 5 years as we penetrate the 2030s. So that's my
That's about the only thing you
response.
penetrate.
The problem in the
I'm
UK is the
scared to hear for a
Conservative
second.
government.
I have something real interesting there. I got my start as a Magic the Gathering, which is the coast oriented channel, and so everyone remembers Black Aragorn. We all remember the Lord of the Rings crossover set. The most recent crossover with Magic the Gathering was Doctor Who.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's selling poorly or not, but what I can say is I have heard nobody in my Magic the Gathering circles talking about it. I'm in multiple Magic the Gathering groups. I go to tournaments. Fucking no one is talking about Magic the Gathering, Doctor Who, and Lord of the Rings was their highest selling set of all time.
Right.
So that I'm sure that's got to also speak for something.
And they actually that to the point.
Chan is laughing for some reason.
It's funny
Well,
because
how many groups does he belong to?
no, basically,
too many.
the fact that nobody gives a shit about Doctor Who, Magic the Gathering, or whatever, is actually a stark contrast to when the show was at its peak, like 10, 15 years ago, when if you went to Comic-Con, half the people on the floor would be wearing Doctor Who cosplay, and we're talking from every country.
Even in Germany,
in Germany,
you
they
would see,
loved it.
Right, a lot of cosplayers wearing Doctor Who references and stuff. Yeah.
Always the
Imagine
10th
Atreus
Doctor, 11th
dressed up
Doctor, or the 4th
as Doctor.
But the thing is, don't you think that there is no coincidence, and in all, 2024 is going to be a super important election year for Germany.
Yeah, it's
for
happening all
parts of Europe, for the United
Britain?
States, and they're taking, of course, they're taking over all these IPs to push their political agenda, to have that kind of connection everywhere. So we're going into the same direction, all the countries together. It's a bit it's quite creepy because it's so well organized. It's the same strategy, the same scheme, and you can see it played out in the same way. So definitely, it's kind of orchestrated. I mean, it's
hopefully,
pretty obvious.
We'll either see a
hopefully,
massive backlash or they'll win.
One of
in
the two.
2024.
Hopefully, though, since election year is coming up, Atreus has everything ready, his ID card, so he can vote. There we go.
I was
You have
really
it ready,
supportive.
Atreus?
That was really supportive,
Jesus.
Brian. Really supportive. I'm proud
You
of
know
you.
how an
Turning
ID
over a new
works?
leaf.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Do you have
What?
ID, Atreus?
He's still making that
slave
news.
ID still. You fucking racist.
I couldn't hear that over your ghetto, Atreus. Do you have ID?
I will say that Doctor Who, I think, it's going to be interesting to see where the viewership lands. I'm curious, because if it's as woke as they're saying it's going to be, this will be a telling about whether or not their real fan base is into that or not. Because if it's so blatant and in their face, I think what happened with the special, with the trans episode and whatnot, I think that turned off a lot of people. And I think it also woke up a lot of people in regards to Doctor Who and where it's going. So I'm curious to see what the viewership's going to be like for that 15th Doctor. I'm curious. I don't know. I'm sure it'll probably do better than Jodie's. I would imagine it'll probably do better than Jodie's, but
Probably.
I don't think it's going to be as good as David Tennant's special. So like if they were at 4 to 5 million views for the special, I really do think it's going to be less than that. But how much less, I don't know. So
I mean, Russell T Davies, even though he's a completely woke activist, he is still a much better writer than Chris Chibnall. So the 3 specials that David Tennant was in, even though they were completely packed out with the message at every fucking possible turn, there's still better episodes than anything Chris Chibnall was doing with Jodie Whittaker. So a lot of people are defending it because of that. He is still the better writer. It's just that he crowbars in as much wokeness as he can now. So I don't think it'll kill the show unless it goes so far down the woke rabbit hole that it actually pisses people off to the point where it sinks below Jodie, and then it will probably get cancelled because you've got Disney money and Sony money back in this thing now, and they are going to want something. They apparently are planning to do a big push on Disney Plus for Doctor Who next year. Which is why they've gone ahead and basically ignored the specials, and why they're going to call it Series 1 next on D+. So it's a clusterfuck. I mean, it's ridiculous.
It sounds contracted and so weird and so
it's
soulless.
The dumbest thing as well, just to have to go back and to say, okay, this is Series 1. And then people are going to go online and they're going to look up Doctor Who Series 1. They're going to find Christopher Eccleston and William Hartnell.
Right.
So it's just pointless. Just I don't actually know if there's a solution to this, like, because there is a good point.
There really
as well,
isn't.
that moving into a new platform, people
A
have
great
never seen it.
reset.
I think this thing has gone just so far down multiple different rabbit holes that there's no fixing it. I think that they're just they're obviously gonna do what they're gonna do, and that's fine. It's their money at the end of the day. But I do think the special woke up a lot of people. I think that trans interaction was so on the nose that it really got a lot of fire going online with people, just overall viewers. A lot of my comments were from people European, that they're just all complaining about it. And whenever I said, "Oh, Europe loves this woke shit," people were like, "No, we don't like this woke shit." And I was getting a lot more comments like that versus others who were maybe on a Reddit somewhere.
Well, what you're seeing now too, to go with it, is you're seeing actors declining to do projects because they're tired of it.
Yeah,
like what's his name?
Unless you're Pedro Pascal.
Yeah. I can't even look at you, bro.
I can't either.
What's his name? Huffman turned down Green Arrow because he didn't like the script and it was cut too woke. And there's a few other actors that are turning down. Like, it's becoming.
Yeah, you hear more voices against
more
it.
and more of it, and it's not. I don't care if you got a gay character. I don't care if you got a kid in a wheelchair. I don't care about any of that, or races, religion, whatever. It's the dialogue that's so bad. It's so forced.
Absolutely.
It's awkward. It's flat. It's just, who talks like that? Like it's just really, really poor writing.
It's like in this horrible Julia Roberts movie. It's it's the dialogue says, "What? Who wrote this? It's really creepy."
A woman.
Yes. It's so creepy.
Well, I feel like they don't really want to write those characters. That's why the writing is so forced. They don't actually want to write them, but they're writing them because they kind of have to. Some of them anyway. A lot of these writers are super woke. Don't get me wrong. They want to insert themselves into everything, but you do have people that are kind of forced to write certain characters or think of certain characters that they wouldn't have necessarily thought of for the story, but because they have certain checkboxes they have to check off, then they definitely have to just come up with some nonsense, and they go with the quickest, easiest stereotypes 9 times out of 10.
Hey, Rose Tico,
whatever.
That's one of them, isn't it?
Yeah, whatever they can do to just.
That's your cousin, right, Chan?
That's what they go for.
Well,
hey,
you can curse.
The disappointing cousin they don't talk about at the family dinner.
Tranny bastards.
Flipping between woke and fucking racist. Like, what are you doing?
Like a typical liberal.
The woke can't be racist, and I'm very woke, as you can tell.
Of course, yes, I forgot that.
Oh my god!
You have full permission to curse them out anytime you want, Chan. Don't worry about it.
It's not racist if it's reality based.
Oh my god!
You just had to throw that in there, didn't you?
That was your gayest moment.
It's always fun.
Version man.
It's
What have you
always
got?
fun.
A DSP clone.
At least he didn't call you black anymore.
Trace.
I can't help it. I'm diabolical.
Yeah, you have diabetes is what you've got. Diabetes.
You know why I got diabetes? Because I can eat, not like you. You can't afford food.
I'm fatter than you, fucker.
I can afford that. Diabetes is beautiful, man. Wow.
And just keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, we all get along after the show is over.
We
It's
do.
quite hilarious if this comes out. On stream. But Trace, what were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say it's always funny watching the racist whites try to kiss up to the Asians because they want to be just as smart as they are. It's
I
like,
am
hey, look,
fucking Asian.
we're only good at math. We're only good at math. Nothing else.
It's not about math. It's about
And
the pussy.
takeout food. Let's give you
And
some
violin.
extra
No,
credit
I've
now.
seen
Hey,
Asians
math is at the
kill it
core
in
of a lot of
violin.
things. So
Yeah.
No, I'll be honest though. This is just honest though. He has a point. Math, they know it all, but everything else, I've been very disappointed.
We don't know how to drive. Nothing.
I've been on the phone with customers. A lot of them tend to be Asian. I'm like, okay, this guy knows what he's doing. He's like, man, how do I write my name? What the fuck are you talking about? Like,
Thousand different characters to memorize.
You know, he's so African American, he calls it math instead of maths.
I mean, one time I had an Asian lady that had no idea she had an investment account. That was shocking.
Wow.
Jesus
That is
Christ.
very
Now
shocking.
it's just the Asia bashing hour. Great. Well,
Yeah.
yeah. that's
You
pretty
live
much
in
how
Asia, you British
I
fuck.
do. I
Panther,
live in the Philippines. I do. Yeah.
Panther 111 for 5.
I
So
don't.
My
Leona,
mother abandoned me
I
when I
don't
was
count
about
them as-
7. But thanks for bringing that up, you bitch.
I don't count the Philippines as like.
You know what? Hold on, Leon. I need you to stop throwing your mama under the bus, man. You did that.
Reyes defending mamas.
You did that shit on my show the
Wasn't
other
there
night.
for
I
you.
didn't know how to feel about
Oh,
that shit,
man.
and I am not going to repeat that.
Oh,
shit
my
you did. I was
God.
just like, wow.
Leona,
man.
didn't your mother teach you how to put on makeup? You have too much blush on. Panther 111 for 5. Thank you, Panther. I appreciate you. And we got a gifted membership war going on between Picasso gifting a membership, KRG gifting a membership, and Panther 111 gifting 5 Hypnotic memberships, man. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. Very, very much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm done with Doctor Who. We can get off Doctor Who and we can
That's
talk
fine.
about American comics, man, because
Yes.
that is just, it's interesting, man. It's interesting what's going on. It's interesting. You know, a lot of
What
people were
is-
saying,
I
oh,
haven't
it's
been
not a
following
civil war going on right now. And I got to tell you, it's brewing. It's definitely brewing. And it's been brewing for a while. And I think a lot of what started it is more on the independent scene internally with the Rippaverse and everything. I saw a lot of different envious creators just coming out, and it's just nonstop back and forth.
Incredible,
Now that's
man.
kind of spilled over into the mainstream side, because now the mainstream side is, you got one side of the argument who's talking about preserving the, you know, the way comic books used to be and bringing them back to the way they were. And then you have the other side, which is still more the prominent writers. They're just all kind of attacking that side and saying, no, you got to adapt with the times. You got to change things. Social messaging is not bad for comics. Comics are doing just fine, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know, it's obvious that American comics are not doing nowhere near as good as they used to. Oh, everybody said that was loud cheer. Sorry, I think I raised the volume. My bad. I'll put it back down. A lot of people are saying that American comics are doing well, but that's not true. Like if you look at unit sales, right? Unit sales are down drastically for American comic books. It's very clear. If you look at unit sales for both Marvel and DC, it is really terrible just how bad it is. The only reason why the dollar amount hasn't changed too much is because of inflation, obviously, right? So things cost more, so obviously the dollar amount's going to look similar. What do you guys think about what's going on? I mean, do you think it's going to get worse? I do think it's going to get worse, but what do you think?
Yeah, it's just
First of all,
beginning.
let's not ignore the irony that they're calling it a civil war when Mark Millar literally wrote Civil War. I love that.
That is true. Yes.
That is true. That came out.
It's just a
recently.
cool, funny comics coincidence.
I can't look at
Yeah,
you,
it
dude.
does happen.
Well, it's funny because I
literally
just
look
put
at
something
the
in a private chat. I had Dan Lawless on, and we talked
Yeah, I
about
saw
that.
this.
And yeah, thanks for showing up. Actually, and it's interesting how people are saying comics are, suffering. It's the mainstream that's suffering. It's not comics are suffering. It's the mainstream. People are still buying comics, but they're buying the old, Bronze Age, Silver Age, and Gold Age. They're not buying anything new because of the
It's
way
sucks.
the titles have been, destroyed.
Hijacked.
Yeah, it's kind of like how DVD sales of old Doctor Who still outsell anything modern. But anyway, not to drag it back to Doctor Who, but that was just the.
Yeah.
Adam Page, remember, for
Oh,
1 month says Leon's looking like Jigsaw.
Jigsaw.
Leon looks like Madonna because Madonna looks like Jigsaw.
That is
Oh
great.
man, I still have that
It
shit.
looks like looks like South Park season 1's version of Kathy Lee Gifford.
Oh god.
Now, I do think the independent scene is obviously growing, right? Like the independent scene of comics is exploding. I think it's only, I don't know if this is something that could get oversaturated, but it probably will. I think that it's only a matter of time before it does get oversaturated, where everybody and their mother thinks they can release a comic after a while. But I don't know, man. It's clear that independent scene growing is hurting mainstream. When the mainstream starts hurting, you have people who rely on the mainstream who will defend the old guard until the end of time, and then you have the actual people who are trying to change the mainstream who are being attacked by those people trying to defend the old guard. So it comes to a point where Marvel and DC, I've seen some of the writers are like, oh, people just don't buy comic books anymore like that. And I'm like, you are so wrong. You are so unbelievably wrong, because people aren't buying your comic books. That's the
Mhm.
difference. People aren't buying your products. It doesn't mean that products aren't being bought somewhere else. You know, like manga, and again, I say it all the time, but manga just destroys American comics. Just, it's not even close. Like
Mhm.
before, back in the day, it was obviously much closer, but it is not even close. They're not even in the same hemisphere. Like it is completely.
Eric July was saying that on Tim Pool last night. He was acknowledging how much manga is destroying comics.
Yeah, it's bad.
They get 88%, 88% of the sales when it comes to comic books, manga. All they and when you look at the pie chart, independents is like 0.0, I want 8%. Mainstream comics is like 1 to 2% now. It's like
pie charts. Diabetes presents. Diabetes.
Oh my god!
Just trying to pick.
Well, at
the new
least he can
targets.
afford food. So
yes,
true.
For Christ's sakes.
But
oh no,
it is a very big disparity that's just growing every single day. You know, it's so now it's gotten to a point where people are going to get desperate, right? People are desperate. People in American comic book mainstream, they're desperate, and they're all. You got the side that's trying to figure out how to keep customers. You got the side who's trying to say, oh, messaging is more important than customers. They're kind of all over the place. So it is interesting to see that dynamic, and it's getting much worse. Not to the point where now you have the cancel pigs hashtag, which I think is hilarious. By the way, the pictures that pop up in the hashtag is funny. But you have cancel what?
No, I was gonna say it's important to mention that the reason why I think a lot of this is combusting the way that it is that on one end, if you're the old guard, you thought that it was the fact that people just wasn't buying comics anymore. But then when you see somebody like Eric July do what they do, and you start seeing your bank account getting light, you start looking at like, especially if you're that one that comic book shop owner, you're looking and it's like, okay, y'all motherfuckers keep looking at me like I'm not supposed to sell these Rippaverse comics, but you ain't bringing me nothing that's making me no money. So when I come out and I make a video saying y'all need to cut this bullshit out and people start attacking me, well, get your shit together. So I think Eric July has really, not just him, it's been some others as well, but let's keep it a bean. It's been Eric July. I mean,
Well,
I've been
always putting a black man on a pedestal, Atreus.
No,
Don't
it's
forget
true.
Ethan Stein's time as well.
No, but in this case,
Get
it's
him.
absolutely right.
it's difficult for these local comic shops to sit there and sell these comics when they're buying them at 50%, right? So you're getting whatever DC or Marvel comic at half the price, so $2.99 or $1.99, whatever, and then they're selling them at full price in the shop, and people are looking at it and going, I don't want this shit, because the art is not like, there is still some great artists there, don't get me wrong, but some of these artists that are coming out, they're doing the work are not even close to what we saw in the 90s, the 80s, the 70s. Nothing's dynamic. It's
there's no
flat.
dedication. The lines.
No,
are
there's no
flat.
passion.
There's no passion. You can see the lines themselves. They lack urgency, density. They have no tension. It's not fun, reading this modern comic books anymore. And I think to a certain extent, what we're facing right now, guys, is absolutely healthy and absolutely necessary, and it's good. People need to wake up. We are like 400 million people in this fucking country. So we can produce our own comic books. We don't need a company somewhere place anymore that drives its own agenda. No, we can actually, with modern technology, and of course, I mean, Ripper has proven that it's possible. We have so many creative minds. So let's stop complaining. Let's stop knocking on the door of these big corporations, begging them to bring back the old IPs, the old stories. Let's create our own stories.
I'm gonna complain. I'm gonna complain. I need these views. I ain't gonna lie to you.
No, I mean,
you're getting these IPs that are doing slice of life shit. Like that's not what these characters are meant for. You're supposed to have Batman. He's a detective, having solving crimes, going out and actually being a detective and a hero. Now he's like sipping tea and talking about having sex with Catwoman. Like, who wants to read that? No, I don't care about that shit.
What?
I want to. Yeah, that's what's happening in these comics. You got Superboy coming out as bisexual. You got and having a relationship. You got what's his name from DC Comics coming out bisexual or homosexual?
Green Lantern.
Really?
No, Robin.
I'm guessing.
Robin Hood. I mean, Robin.
Well, yeah, Robin. Tim Drake.
Not to that one.
But I mean,
like, also, just a quick question for anybody who might know: what's the average amount of pages in an American comic book?
32.
24.
Oh, really?
Wait, what?
24.
Well, 32
24
if you count ad pages, though. Like 24 story pages. So they always put in extra slides for like full page ads.
That's what I mean.
24
like, why would you?
Pages?
Yeah. Why would you buy
what's
a
the
book?
average price of an American comic?
You're going to
$3.99.
compare
It
this
used to be
manga,
$3.99. I
aren't you?
don't know if it still is. It used to be $3.99.
Well,
Same
yeah,
price
because
for
it's
200
value
pages in a
prop.
manga.
It's the fucking value proposition. You have. I'm looking right now at my Hero Academia fucking collection where each book is $7.99, $8.99, something like that or even $9.99 for 200 pages or 180 some odd pages of just way better content.
Like
Well,
9
and
chapters
the thing
per
is, you know,
tankobon,
I
right?
used to go to, sorry, go for it,
Something
Will.
like that.
No, I was just checking. It's like usually 9-10 chapters in a tankobon, right? In a book, a single manga book. Yeah.
But the marketing's a lot better with manga too, because like you're getting the anime, you're getting a strict storyline that actually has a plot to it. Like with DC and Marvel and Image now, besides Todd McFarlane, you're getting crappy material, and then you're seeing what on the screen and on TV, you're seeing more crap. So what interests you? Nothing. Like the marketing's poor. It's very, very poor. Like I don't get it. Why they keep producing this shit.
I just don't see the value proposition. Go ahead, Leon.
The value proposition was, at least back. So I used to be a massive comic book fan. My local comic shop, even by name, I was going in once a month. I was usually dropping $50 because they were $3.99 a pop, but I would get Spider-Man was going on, Thor was going on. You had crossover events like Original Sin going on, and you would get all these different titles. Plus, third party, I was getting Ninja Turtles or The Walking Dead, depending on what time it was. So like I would go in once a month, and he'd be like, "All right, here's this month's." Issues of all the series that you have on your list. They'll come in, they take your name, they set it aside for you. They, at least when my comic shop did it, they literally had every customer who was a regular catalog. Fantastic. And so I'd walk in, he'd be like, "All right, here's the 15 books or 10 books or whatever it is for
do that here too.
Your subscription." So I'd walk out with $10 having spent, or 10 books having spent $50. And then around the time of Female Thor, I quit, and not because women hate women. No, clearly I don't hate women. Everybody, no, but that was like the time you could tell that the writing was going downhill. I wasn't enjoying reading Thor anymore. I wasn't enjoying reading Marvel in general. I was still keeping up with some indie stuff. I was still keeping up with Ninja Turtles. Like Silk. I liked Silk. Silk was basically a female Spider-Man variant, but even that had started going downhill, and I was like, I think I'm just gonna stop buying comics. And I went for a long period of time where the only time I would buy comics, or I would go to comic cons, or various, whether it be anime conventions, comic book conventions, sci-fi conventions, and I'd find local dudes, or maybe not local, but like independent people who were traveling around selling their book. And I would buy their book.
What?
Phrasing.
I would find local
looking for local dudes.
The comic book scene was my grinder, baby. I would start buying indie comics from individuals selling them at comic book conventions, because this was a bit before the crowdfunding craze started. And so I've got like backlogs of, I say backlogs, I've read them, but I've got several upon several.
Did he say get back shots?
Let me Ixulu is 100% right though. Silk was a really interesting first story, and then it devolved. Like there was a lot of comics like that. Like when this whole wave of like, oh, look at these female characters hit initial shelves, Silk was interesting. Female Thor started off interesting. Miles Morales isn't a female. Miles Morales started off interesting. And then they started to devolve. Spider-Gwen #1, I have it. That's like a $400 book now. Started off.
I ain't gonna lie to you. Y'all gonna have to stop. Y'all gonna have to kill the Miles Morales slander, man. That's one of them tokens I actually like. I
like Miles Morales.
That's target audience
character.
Miles Morales is Miles Morales.
Morales.
What I
I
was
am
really-
from the hood too. There
Oh
we
my
go.
god!
Yo,
Wow,
yo,
yeah,
yo.
Rogue, that's
Hey,
But if you can get somebody who is spending $50, my point with all this, if you can get somebody who is spending $50 a month easy, like me, who's been
What
spending
the
$50 a
fuck?
month for who knows how many years, I would give it would be payday.
I-
First
I-
thing I would do is go to the comic book store, and if I was doing that for I don't know 10 years. I've been working since I was like 16, so from 16 to about 24, 25, spending $50 a month, and then for me just one day cold turkey. How many other people are doing that? That had to be a massive fucking blow to the comic book industry.
Oh yeah.
And this was 5-6 years ago when I stopped reading comics.
Well, one thing I wanted to mention really quick is also the big difference too is that it's the different forms of media that on the manga and anime side, right? Things are very consistent for the most part. Animes are never usually 1-to-1, but they're pretty damn close, right? They try to at least follow what the manga is doing for the most part, and that's like there's a consistency there. But when you have American comics, they get adapted into whatever, right? It could be animated shows, it could be live action, which seems to be the thing for the last few years. It's never anywhere close to 1-to-1. It's usually we're just going to take the name and we're going to tell a general story for the most part, right?
And we're gonna start the
And you
sentence
can't
with, "Oh, we totally love this
Yeah.
beautiful story, but we just had to update it a little bit
You
too."
can't
Yeah, that's
even
the thing.
argue
They
that you
all do
can't
that.
even argue that American comic movies do that because there's just too much story to adapt, because that's bullshit. Like manga has 200 fucking pages, 9 to 10 chapters per book, right? Most comic books are, you said 20 to 30 pages. So how much like they have content for fucking years that they could be adapting, and they do. They take their time with it. Whereas with the American side of things, I just don't think they have the same confidence in their continuity or the longevity of their IP or their whatever, that people will stick around for that long. So they just try to rush everything, and that's why I really appreciate how anime adapts manga and vice versa.
Well, the reason for that, though, right? Hypno, like, there's actually a financial reason for that. It's because manga and anime don't actually make all that much money. Manga and anime, all the money comes from merchandise sales, whether it be statues, posters, shirts,
right,
and you
toys.
don't see that sort of thing done with comics anymore. You don't see like okay, maybe a Spider-Man movie comes out, and so you see a poster of like the movie version of Spider-Man, but where's all the comic book merchandise? Where's the comic book versions of Batman toys, of Spider-Man toys? Where's the comic posters and t-shirts? Again, aside from what you can buy for $30 at Hot Topic.
Batman and Spider-Man will always sell. Like they were
bad examples. Yeah, Batman, Spider-Man.
But they're always going to sell. But I know what you're saying.
The Flash and She-Hulk aren't selling merch. My Hero Academia, a fucking side character that's in 2 panels of the manga gets a statue and people buy it for $90. I fucking want them.
I wouldn't say that Batman and Spider-Man will always sell, because people say that of Star Wars for a long time, and Star Wars.
If you overstretch
it was fine.
Batman's been around a lot longer.
It used to be
Just
fine.
wants to eat Batman because his diabetes says so.
You keep fucking it up. So.
Yeah. I mean, they're coming for
Batman may have been around longer, but
Batman
Star Wars was more of a financial dynasty than Batman's ever been. Like, as much as it sucks to admit, Star Wars was literally one of the biggest billion-dollar revenue-generating industries in the entire world. It made more money than probably Batman and Spider-Man combined, for example, and we saw that go down. So
the merchandise is absolutely
cinematically
mostly merchandising.
Yeah.
But manga,
not cinematically speaking, merchandise speaking. Star Wars merch alone sold literal billions upon billions year over year. In times where there was droughts, where there was no movie, like Revenge of the Sith was in 2005, and the new Star Wars shit didn't come out till 2013, 2014, something like that. Between 2005 and 2014, Star Wars year over year was literally making billions just on toy sales.
2015.
It's like the Jordan brand for Hasbro, right? It's like it's a sub company that actually generates more than its original company. If you compare it with what the output actually is. But here you have the problem also in the approach when you tackle the material. The Japanese, in terms of work ethic and in terms of staying loyal also to the canon and to the IPs, that because the stuff that they create has always a mythological root, right? I know I'm beating on this drum very often, but it's true. They look for mythological aspects and the roots of the story, and changing that for them is blasphemy, right? You don't do that easily. You have to explain it thoroughly if there's any weird or drastic changes that you apply to the character, because usually in every story you find these primordial aspects of whatever the local mythology is, about demons, about ghosts, about vampires, they're all pretty accurate. So they defend this stuff. They really go for it. If you go to the American IPs, there is not much mythology involved. And when, like in terms of Star Wars, it was always, depending on just a few individuals that were kind of upholding the status quo. It wasn't the common shared culture of the whole tribe. That's why Peter Jackson moved to New Zealand, because he said, I would never have been it would have never been possible to shoot Lord of the Rings the way I shot it in America, because people are too much about the ego and they're not really about the mythology and kind of defending those inner values.
I got to share Will's screen because he's got something insane. Oh, this was crazy. I like that.
Oh. Why y'all do that? That's just
Yay, viewership!
Holy
Yay,
shit.
viewership!
Who made that? That's a fucking hilarious.
It's Will. It's always fucking Will.
Will,
I don't know as much about comics as I know about.
That is fucking funny.
Hey, you're all tagged in.
Oh my god! Give me some more BBC.
I like how you threw in the Twitter handles in there too. Like, great.
I like
the transcribed BBC from what
that is hilarious.
Oh my god!
What do you think, Chad, about this whole thing with the comic books and whatnot? Do you read comic books? Do you read manga? Do you read any of that?
So I had very when I was 5 or 6, I bought a couple of comics at my local comic book shop, and I only bought them because of the cover. I never really read them. It's I used to like these characters.
That's how I was with Goosebumps books.
Yeah,
when I was a kid.
And then as I grew up, I never really read the comics, at least American comics. Manga always stuck out to me a little bit more. I started reading a lot of manga in high school and especially in college. And I don't know why. It has Japanese medium, especially when it comes to anime and manga, has feeling. Mm-hmm. Right, I remember. My background's in animation set, and when you compare it to American, comics or movies or something like that, it's all about how the characters, how do they feel, versus the feeling of the characters. Sort of when you first see Goku doing the Kamehameha against Vegeta the first time, right on that cliff. The feeling of him going Kaioken ×4 against the Gallic Gun, you're like, holy shit, that feeling is it. And I think American medium doesn't have any of that.
Just say you came, bro. Just say you came.
Oh man, it was everywhere, dude.
Well, that's because the Japanese and the South Koreans, they're serving the characters. Yeah. They're not there to take the characters and put themselves in the character, right? And that's exactly what you're saying there, Coach. Everyone's all about pride and ego, and they got to assert themselves into these IPs, and it's ruining the storyline. It's ruining the character, and it just kills it. Where the Japanese they serve their characters really well. They bring out the best emotions, the best stories. They work really hard at that, and I mean, we should be learning something.
To be fair, for every Dragon Ball or One Piece or amazing anime and manga, there's 10 shit ones that we never see here just because we're not in Japan or whatnot. So the difference is they prop up their best work and we get to see their best work. Whereas here we prop up the shit that nobody wants to see, like woke comics. So
I'll give you another example of something that I saw recently. So I'm a Godzilla fan, but I'm probably not a super fan or something like that, right? So I haven't really seen all of them. I think one of the ones I recently just saw was Shin Godzilla. And the thing I noticed when it comes to when the Japanese, when they make Godzilla, is they simply don't give a fuck. And I saw one of the most amazing scenes is when Shin Godzilla fucking destroyed that entire goddamn city and he left no survivors. They didn't give a fuck. They said everybody died. If that would have been an American movie, somebody would have been somewhere trapped under thousands of
Rubble
pounds
or
of
something.
rubble,
Oh.
but still alive for some odd reason. Nope. Japan didn't give a fuck. They said he destroyed everything. It was one
And
of those.
they're unscathed.
Little
too.
Timmy
They
in a
don't have,
wheelchair
like-
survived.
Yeah,
New Orleans.
If there were
It's
any-
always little Timmy in a wheelchair.
If there were any
Survived.
survivors in a
Honestly.
Japanese version, they'd have like bones sticking out of their legs and things like that. Whereas
Yeah.
in the American version, they'd have a bit of bruising and stuff from being trapped under tons of stench.
But
With manga, one thing I'll say is that they don't forget anything, right? Their continuity, their storyline is pretty solid, right?
I don't know.
And
Dragon Ball
They
was
will-
fucking going off the fucking.
no. Like, let me explain. So they'll circle back to some of the shit that you probably even forgot that you read about or saw. They'll circle back. Like right now, I'm finishing up Tokyo Ghoul Re, like the sequel, and
Is it
I'm
good?
on book. It's a lot better than people said it was, and people said that the sequel was not that great, but I don't agree with that. But I'm on book 14, and they circled back to something from book 2 of like the original story, and it was something I totally forgot about. And I was like, just the fact that they even did that is just it's strong. Like it's strong storytelling that they care so much that they don't leave any leaf unturned. You know what I mean? For the most part.
Well, this is
And
why I love One Piece. 'cause
problem
it
is
will-
like you compare it to something like American comics or even American movies, right? They still have not acknowledged the fucking
Celestial, goddamn it.
celestial in the goddamn
Right.
ocean, bro. Like they haven't, like there's been how many movies after that happened, and not once has anybody said, "Gee, what the fuck is that massive thing that's in the ocean over there?" Like nobody's even acknowledged it one time, not even just as a
They
joke
don't care about
or
no,
anything. Like we're
you're
not
totally
even.
right.
Are you serious right now? This is supposed to be a planetary threat that was stopped, and nobody's acknowledging that, right? So it's really drives me crazy when you get the level of detail in manga and anime, more so manga because I read that more. And then you compare it to that, it's terrible. It's not even close, and it's because it's a lack of care of the story being told. They don't care about the story being told. They only care about the story being told at the moment. Not like you want to be an MCU. Tell me an overarching story, but if you can't even call back to certain things, bro, it's crazy. It's stupid.
The other night I was a guest at an art exhibition that was sponsored by very good the Japanese arts division, and the Japanese ambassador was also present. Was here at Florida State University. Beautiful exhibition, and we were standing there. I was introduced to a lot of people, and I was just throwing out business cards. It was very vivid, and then I talked with a couple of Japanese guys about art pieces in here and there, and then somebody approached me and said, "So how was it?" It's like, what are you talking about? Yeah. How was the ambassador? It's like, I didn't talk to the ambassador. Oh, you did? And it's like, I did? Yes, that was the Japanese ambassador. It's like, are you fucking with me? And then I looked into the catalog, and yeah, of course, it was him. Like the most humble, most normal person that was sponsoring $100 million arts exhibition at a huge atrium, right? And he's there for the Japanese country, representing them. The most normal guy. Like imagine this would be an American exhibition, or let's say like even an Italian exhibition, because the Italians are no way better, and they would do this in Japan. The Italian ambassador, the cultural attaché that would kind of oversee this, he would be like, I know, a peacock all over the place. Yeah, you could tell that it's him like from 400 yards away, right? Because he would like shine, and he would, of course, like it's a different culture. I'm not saying one is good, the other is bad, but that impresses me a lot. I worked a lot with Japanese, like high-ranking people.
There were a lot of Asians in that, and Coach couldn't tell the difference between regular Asians and the Japanese.
I could never think that this person, this humble, very normal person talking about art, was really like interested in what I had to say, and I was just like, yeah, and this art piece to be really interesting. Oh, thank you. And then they just went over like, yeah, that was the ambassador.
Good to see that Germany, a bit of Italy and Sicily, and Japan.
No, I think the mentality. This is what I like. What I'm trying to say. I mean, even look at the stuff that they create. It humbles you because it's full of detail, love, the lines, everything is curated well, and this is how they behave. This is their nature. This is their culture.
I don't know. I do want them to put better black people in video games, bro. Y'all don't be putting no goddamn like y'all be having that one
in their video game. They
Y'all
don't
be having
want
that one
Barrett in Final Fantasy VII not good enough for you?
Yeah, I was gonna say Barrett. But
We
then
have
that's-
GTA.
That's like the most stereotypical black
Fuck
dude.
you, Dragon. No one asked you. Barrett's off.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
every time
Bro,
I
it
play,
literally is.
you know the
like,
fact that when they
play like a
They give him the
JRPG,
fucking Gatling gun too.
when they finally made the
every
remake
time
of
I
7
play-
and Barrett's
every
voice is
time
in
I
it.
play a JRPG or some shit like that, the black character that I'm trying to create can only look like Mr. Popo. I swear, I'm not saying that y'all doing that shit on purpose.
Bro,
I'm not saying
literally
that y'all
every
doing it on
black-
purpose. I'm just saying I just want a little bit something different.
Hey, look,
Sometimes they have those
Which
kind
one,
of
black
women.
Mr. Popo or blue Mr. Popo?
No,
Blue Mr. Popo was disrespectful.
Blue Mr.
That
Popo
shit was
doesn't count.
terrible.
hey, bro. Every black character I see in JRPGs, they all have the same mindset of
The same voice. Hey, bro.
it's like,
The
Hey,
same
hey.
goddamn
you
voice.
motherfucker, I'm gonna
Yeah,
bust
yeah.
a cap in your ass.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's so,
We did
it's
not
so
fucking
white,
talk.
dude.
Okay. Well,
This is
so
the thing.
if you read manga, anytime they depict an American character, it is usually a much bigger, right? They just like bigger overall stature, very
Yeah.
aggressive, very out there kind of character, very like
Yeah, because
G.I.
they're all
Joe
like 5'10".
almost.
Barrett,
Okay, you
every-
can't blame
every
them.
character is essentially like G.I. Joe whenever they show an American character.
And it has the same voice. The same
It
voice
has
for
the same like
What
just
was it
loud
again?
raspy voice. But
Yeah,
it's
they always do this. You know, like this go very deep. It's like Mr. Hirawi. It's like what the fuck?
In One Piece, the character of Frankie is based on because every character belongs to a certain country if they exist in the real world, and Frankie is the American, and he's got like the Elvis do, and he's all
Yep.
about cheeseburgers and soda.
Oh my
He's got
god!
these
Yeah.
big
Of
jacked arms,
course,
like, it's
fucking
so-
cheeseburgers.
Oh, dude, Frankie is the man in One Piece.
It's stereotypes,
Yeah,
but you know
he
what?
is American
Even though
as
you know
fuck.
it's stereotypes, it's fucking hilarious though.
That's
And
hilarious.
they do it in a funny way that you can't even be mad, really.
Powered by cola.
You're like, this shit is just hilarious.
Nah, I be mad
You
as
know?
shit. I do be mad. I ain't gonna lie. I be mad as shit. I be
So you don't
damn,
like Barrett
it
in
don't matter
FF7?
how
Yeah,
wide I
Atreus,
make the
you need to
nose.
get off that shit. You're all like, oh, in JRPGs, we need better black characters. How many black dudes do you know? If a bunch of magical Asians walked up to the hood and was all like, oh, come on an adventure with us.
Magical Asians?
Wait, didn't you hold on?
Are they
Didn't you say
fucking
black people
berries?
don't do Final Fantasy? Like,
Speaking of
Are they
magical
like-
Asians.
Where the white wages at?
Hey, listen. Speaking of magical Asians, Hypnotic. I hope you got that one story up here today. You know what I'm talking about? Magical Asians.
Oh, are you
that
talking
fucking-
about the other thing?
that
Magical
movie?
No, it's the
Negroes
thing.
or
You can
whatever?
say It's the name of a movie.
That's
Oh
You
no!
comes out in a few months. By the way,
You've
my
got to
dude.
put
I
that
didn't
trailer on.
see. I didn't see the trailer until after my stream, bro. I was so pissed off, bro.
Can we please, like, if we
Can we
watch
talk
a
about
black
that?
person,
Hypnotic. You got to play that trailer, bro.
it's a
Come on.
it's a
Got
black
to.
person saying the word. We will not get banned. We're safe.
I mean, you can send me the link to the trailer. It's fine.
You're never safe around blacks, Dragon.
Uh,
just know that.
Hold
And
on.
I'd also like to say that I've noticed something that our guest has in common with Atreus, but I'm too scared of offending too many people to tell you what that similarity is.
Oh, please enlighten us.
Yeah,
If you
just
say
do it.
something about our nose, I'm
The
gonna
nose.
I
The nose.
fucking
The
know
level
it.
of noses.
It's a fucking. Oh wow!
Uh,
Wow!
Brian acts as if his
Yeah.
nose is not gigantic. It's just gigantic in the forward direction.
You got a Gimli nose. You're gonna put up with it, okay? CW Gimli, just put up with it.
Damn, this is accurate. It's a trailer for Black Hogwarts.
It
And
is.
No, it's not.
It
No, it's
is.
not. No,
hilarious.
it's not. No, it's not. You
No.
gotta play
Oh
it.
wait.
If it would have
No,
been
it's-
Black Hogwarts, it would have been. It could have been something decent. It's not there. Watch that. Bullshit.
No, it's Hood Hogwarts.
No,
Don't
it's not.
misunderstand.
No, it's not.
This is like Project Hogwarts.
Is that director X worthy?
Oh, I saw that. Oh, my God.
Yeah,
That's
there
why
it
we
is.
didn't say the word. Yeah, I saw this by accident on X or Twitter, and I was
Apparently,
like,
you're allowed to say that one, but not the other one.
Negro,
comes to-
Negro, 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 Negro,
Allowed-
Negro.
Imagine
Apparently, you're allowed to still say
And we're the motherfucker.
You're allowed
if
to
you
say it, but
speak
the fucking word
Spanish,
can't be
that's
on a
colored
crayon.
black.
You know that,
Yeah.
right? They took
I
the word
s-
Negro off the black crayon a long time ago.
Oh,
So every
Yeah,
other
that's
crayon
apparently.
has the Spanish saying
Yeah.
for the color, except for the black crayon.
Yeah.
exactly. That is weird. That's fucked up.
I want
Especially
to.
since
I
the
want to
black
learn how to
crayon
speak
didn't
Spanish.
say Negro, it said Negre, Negre,
Negro.
because that's Spanish for
Negro.
black.
No,
No,
in
no, it's not.
Spanish it ends with an
Negro.
O, but they don't
No,
say it that way.
I
It
want
Because
does.
they don't want to be offensive.
I
Bro,
want
it's
to learn
Philippines.
Spanish.
100% Negro. Tell him.
It's 100%. Yeah, 100% negro, man. I'm sorry.
I want to learn Spanish so
color
I can
negro.
introduce a
No, I'm
Atreus
looking
to all
at it
my
right now.
Spanish friends.
Negra. It's
That's-
No,
it's
it's because
feminine
of
and
the gender.
masculine.
No,
That's-
negra,
that's
that is for a
girls.
female
played his
black.
trailer.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, my
That's
bad.
fucking girls.
Well,
Leave
Gendered
it to the white
language.
person.
This is why we should get rid of gendered
Yeah,
language.
This
his
motherfucker.
his own language. Leave it to the
Negro
fucking
X.
liberal to do that.
Not
me,
negrex.
Hispanic on the
Negrex.
fucking channel telling you it's Negro, and you're like, no,
Steve.
no, I know.
Please show Steve's
Yeah,
Please show
comment.
Steve's comment.
This is why we should get rid of gendered language.
Fucking transition into a goddamn
This
trans
is gonna
liberal.
piss off a trail.
That is insane. Oh my god! I cannot
That's
believe
your
you did
new.
that.
That's
The
your
whi-
new.
The white guy came out of you, man. Oh my god, this is great stuff.
This is,
Oh,
you know,
God.
Steve. Thank you
Play
for
the trailer.
giving Atreus'
Can y'all
people a new
Y'all
term.
please let him play the trailer, please.
Yes, I'm gonna play the trailer. I'm sorry. I just
Oh,
yeah,
you
yeah,
want
we're
to
sorry.
see
Go for
black
it.
men on screen?
shit made me
Atreus.
rage. Am I gonna get copyrighted for this?
Probably.
I don't think that many more.
Oh, thanks.
what?
Right? She's like,
What?
probably. Fuck
Did you
it.
say we weren't monetized anyway?
We weren't monetized anyway, so might as well hit it all.
Negroes.
Wait, what?
Negroes.
Every time I
In
see
the
this,
American society,
Is that a floating black? Wait, what? The-
What the
That's a
hell?
floating.
That's a floating
it's
Shaniqua.
like
That's what that shit is.
transgender Barrett.
Oh my god! What
That's a
is
floating
this?
society
Shaniqua.
of magical Negroes.
I'm gonna pause just in case of copyright. I don't want the stream to get
Does-
fucking taken
people,
down
do
real
people
quick.
actually get the context of what they mean by magical Negroes?
Yes.
Oh
It's
god,
like
yes.
the characters.
Honestly,
who appear in-
Hypnotic, the way this trailer's going, they need the advertising. So I don't know.
Yeah,
if
they
that's
do.
Shoe polishing kits.
Oh no.
Apparating? This is Hogwarts.
Wait,
bro.
what?
This is
Yeah,
Harry
he-
Potter.
he
He apparates.
evaporate.
He's
Literally.
apparated, yeah.
What's
Literally.
next? Expelliarmus?
Bro, this is crazy.
Most dangerous.
Peter? What?
That's
Yeah.
a white
Oh
tier.
my
They're-
god!
it's based on the
showed it
stereotype.
earlier.
It's based on the stereotype that whenever there's like a black character in older movies and that, they're just there to be like wise and give advice to the white person.
Bro,
That's what these guys are supposed to be based
you know
on.
what?
The magical Negro.
The
Who is a
white
plot
people
device.
are the muggles. Like, these are not white. These are white.
Yeah,
Okay.
This is pretty into something totally different. What the fuck's
Bro,
going on?
this
Yeah,
is
it's-
Fairly
Yeah.
Odd
Trying
Parents.
to get this
the
guy
black
a girl,
people
but, you know,
edition.
like,
What?
it's fucking
I'm
totally
sorry.
changed once he gets that girl. As soon as the girl shows up, the trailer goes in a radically different direction. The first half
Oh
is
my
Hogwarts. The second half is rom-com.
This is
Yeah,
crazy.
Fairly Odd Parents
Everyone's
rom-com.
This has turned into the Black Bachelor.
I've
What's going on
always
here?
felt like it's my job to make
Now
white
it's
people
like
feel
Black
comfortable,
Cyrano.
and here it literally is.
Wait, he said he always felt like his job was to make white people
Make
more
white people, yeah,
comfortable. Are
he
you-
did.
Yeah.
He
That's-
did, and he.
I wish.
Well, I mean, the magical Negrex is a plot device.
Yeah,
in-
Negrex. That's
it's,
right.
It's a plot trope. The magical
Yes.
Negrex who can show up and just give the white person advice.
I wish you
Apparently-
all served us, except Atreus. He would.
Bro, this
help
is unbelievably cringe. I'm not gonna
So that basically these guys are walking, talking plot devices, and they're
I can
accepting their fate.
appreciate the on the nose, like making fun of themselves kind of a thing, but this is just
I mean, as a parody, it's not a
really
bad
cringe.
idea on paper, but it's been done in earnest, which is why it's so fucking cringe.
Right.
You know,
Doesn't have a
see-
Also, Justice Smith's the
not
main actor.
tongue-in-cheek
And
enough,
he
yeah.
does he have any other role? He was the dude from Pokemon, the live action Pokemon. He was in one of the Jurassic Worlds. Now this, and he always plays that gangly. I don't know. The name could be updated, like that weird non-self confident. I don't know. The dude's already typecast after 3 shitty movies. Or I assume what will be a shitty movie.
Yeah, this
No,
is
he
pretty,
was-
pretty bad.
he plays a dorky character. Yeah.
What
Yeah,
does
this
the
thing's
Asian
making
thing
more noise than
of
I was going
Beach
to give it
Black?
credit
I
for.
Yeah, I was
mean,
gonna
I mean,
say,
if
as
you
a
look
white
at
male, what
him,
do you think?
I mean, let's keep it a bean. If you look at him, he's not exactly the black person that would be getting all the putty.
He's gay in real life,
man.
like the actor.
Is he really Septilian, or are you just making
Yeah,
a
it's
joke?
Actors are gay.
I hope not. Oh,
That would
God.
explain a lot.
We have to stop this.
Is that why the straight relationship is failing that he assigned to him?
we have
He
to-
forgot to ask.
Says he's Black Michael Sarah. That's so fucking accurate.
Black Michael Sarah.
We have to stop the spread, folks. We have to
Oh
stop
my
the spread.
God.
That's all
Shaq
I'm saying.
Pilgrim.
Let's finish the trailer. Let's
Not
finish the
Michael Sarah.
But maybe it shouldn't be.
I got a great plan to ask for help, but I'm gonna need your help. Do you think you could like work your magic?
Hey, is he talking
Yes.
about me?
Hey.
Oh my, wait, are you?
But I've traveled a long way.
Someone to
Bro, they got him a Latina.
the floating black lizard.
Wakanda forever, baby.
Oh my
I
God.
can't.
Yes, the floating fairy godmother,
You know those are
Jumalawamba.
some heavy duty fucking strings they put on her. There's no way to lift her
Hey,
ass up
look.
like that. No.
When you got to lift a mother Shuwalawamba, you know, you got to do what you got to
There's
fucking
a
do.
fucking forklift
How many
truck.
strings did they?
There's a
No, the-
big
the,
green
all of
forklift
them.
truck behind her.
It's seriously.
someone to fight.
I cannot. When I
That's in
first saw
theaters.
that,
That's in theaters. Oh my
yes,
God.
I told you it's a movie. It's out in
apparently
3 months.
in theaters in 3 months.
He
yeah.
was good.
Bro.
The lead actor there, he was good in the Get Down. It was on Netflix. It was about the late
Yeah.
70s
Rap.
rap,
Are we
the
talking about
boom
Shaq
of the rap
Pilgrim?
music.
That man said
Oh.
nigga bands. I'm out.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
He's gone.
ads.
What do you
You
think, Chan, about this? Since you're white, right? So,
Yeah, I'm a white adjacent basically.
Okay,
So
cool.
Yeah.
You're yellow.
I originally thought that it was gonna be no. So the thing is that like Key and Peele made a skit about magical Negroes already. So then I thought there was an extended version of that one, but it was completely different. And to be honest, if they focused more on the magicalness of the movie, it would have been more interesting. And it sort of just throws you like it misdirects you into a rom-com, which sort of becomes not as interesting anymore. Actually,
No.
And which is why I want to
It
get
really
to the point.
doesn't.
I just want to lecture them for a second. Y'all niggas can't do shit right in Hollywood. Y'all can't do shit.
Yeah.
You had a
There we go.
perfect opportunity to give your own niggadry and niggerdom on magic, and you decided to take it into a white tears, white guilt movie where
Yeah.
the fucking nigga ends up with the white woman any fucking way.
It's a Latina. It's a Latina. It's not even a white woman. It's a Latina.
She's white
Fuck outta
adjacent.
here. And most people think she's white.
Yeah. That's kind of half the time.
is she-
Usually
is she
they
Is she
they switch it
Latina?
up with Latinas
What
now,
sense
though.
does that make? What sense does that make? We're
Well, my
gonna make
nerdy
a
home says
movie
she's white
about black
adjacent, so I guess
people.
she's white.
We're gonna make a
Everyone's
movie about
welcome
black
in the
people
movement.
catching- Hold on, no. We're gonna make a movie about black people catching white tears, and then we're just gonna throw a Latina woman in there. I don't. You sure she's Latina?
Let me tell
Yeah,
you,
I'm
I
sure.
understand
I'm
why
sure.
I understand why they all went on strike, because those fuckers that had to lift Lizzo up with the fucking Hoyer there, they didn't get paid shit.
How many ropes did they have to pull?
They were pulling
They
the
were
rope.
struggling.
They couldn't.
Struggling. Get
They
in
couldn't-
unison, guys.
They couldn't hire an industrial. They couldn't get an
Yeah.
industrial crane. They had to hire 20 people.
I just wanted to be known that nobody likes that shit. Black Twitter was roasting that shit. White Twitter was roasting that shit. I don't think
Yellow
Asians, I don't
Twitter.
think Asians care as long as they're allowed to do their nails.
Bro, you
No,
had
there are
to
some
say
ratio on
that.
that trailer.
Huh?
What was the like to
Yes.
dislike ratio
Yes.
on that trailer?
It was like 2.9 to
29.
20.
20,000 down to like
26,000
1.
dislikes.
Yeah, 10 to 1.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just when I think of Harriet Tubman and
499 says Eggroll. There you go.
What's going on, Jay? How you doing?
Drunk Sapo.
And for my
would
next
you like
trick,
an order
ladies,
or side rice with that, Mr. J?
and for
Right.
my next trick, ladies and gentlemen, I will make the Asian disappear.
Oh my god.
You
know
are
what?
too poor
That is a
to
great-
afford
Makeup sucks.
special effects.
Leona's already got roasted for her makeup. Don't worry. It was quite embarrassing.
Your makeup.
Quite-
My magic
my
has a
God.
7-minute
I
delay. by
have
the way.
I have Parkinson's, and
Shout
now
out to
people are
Steph.
making fun of my
Will
disabilities.
you
Not
fucking
only y'all
stop,
racist,
Leon?
you're
Stop.
ableist too.
Leon, cut it out, bro.
Keep going.
Zombie
Keep
Box
going.
Review says, I thought Eggroll was black adjacent, so he's a cheap Negro. There you go.
Bro,
Anyway, man.
when I thought of Harriet Tubman and Rosa Parks, I didn't see this shit being something they were thinking about. Holy shit. Bro.
Clearly.
Get
They need
them
more
off the
magic.
bus.
They need more magic. Anyway, Chan, you gotta go, man.
Yeah, I gotta bounce to my show at 7 Pacific. So but thank you everyone for having me on. I really appreciate it. Thank you,
See you, brother.
everyone in the chat.
Hey, thank you,
I'll
man.
definitely would like to come back on again. To be honest, this is probably the most fun I've had in a while. And I've been like under the weather, so this is actually a really cool place to hang out. Thank you everyone for having me on.
Thank you.
Absolutely, man.
and
You're
you can
welcome
find
back anytime.
Yeah, and you can find me. We're on X, Project Eggroll, and we're also on YouTube as well on Project Eggroll. And yeah, you can find us there. And we're gonna go live in a bit. But yeah, please don't go over there. Just hang out here for another hour or so, and then come on over if you want.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry,
bye-bye,
bro.
Hirohito.
T-Cap's
Bye-bye.
comment. He said, number 3 with fried rice and egg roll.
Oh, that's the special. That was
Number three
That's
with fried rice
It's a
and egg roll.
$10.99 special.
That
$10.99
is
combo
amazing.
special.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Chan.
but-
This is
Oh, man.
listen,
Love
thank
you,
you for
everyone.
hanging
Hey,
out
bro.
with us. It was
Yeah,
awesome
definitely
to
would
have
love
you
to come
here.
on.
Yeah,
Right,
man.
cool.
Yeah,
You're welcome
man.
back anytime, brother. All right.
All right, cool.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Have a good show
Yeah,
with
man.
Gray.
Who died over there, coach?
Somebody fucking fell. Coach, you all right?
Yeah. What's wrong?
You all right, coach?
Losing
Who
the
died?
war, are we,
Who died?
coach?
You.
Is that egg shrimp? Is that shrimp?
No, but trailers, bro. This trailer is just crazy, man. Like this thing is totally. I was actually kind of like laughing
Did
in the
Coach
beginning
see it?
because it was just a joke. It was hilarious, you know. And
The magical Negro thing? Yeah.
the magic factor was pretty funny. And then all of a sudden, it just turned into a fucking what looked like it was going to start off as a gay rom com, and then eventually turned into a love triangle. It's just, why did we go there? Why does every black
Why?
movie gotta be a fucking rom com, bro?
It's
I-
Negrex
That's what I'm saying.
Fairly Odd Parents.
Niggas in
To make him
Hollywood,
less scary.
hold on. Niggas in Hollywood can't do nothing but make movies about drugs, rom-coms, and fucking I got pulled over by the police comms. That's it.
Oh God,
I
that's
got
your
pulled over by
rom
the
coms.
police car.
Pulled over by the police cop.
I can't wait.
They
I
have
can't
literally
wait for the
remade-
George Floyd show. I cannot wait
They
for
have
that. to
literally
be made
remade
into
The
a film.
Perfect Stranger at least 5 times. It was The Perfect Stranger, That Weirdo Under My Bed, Obsessed 2. Like, what the fuck are we doing?
Pull over, com. That's what it is, bro. That's your version.
No, as this will happen, calm.
Oh no.
Oh wait.
Hands
no,
up,
they
walking
just
away.
No,
run
pull over. No,
Here's
pull
the thing.
over, com.
Here's the thing. Y'all ain't even seen Zeus TV yet. That's what's fucked up.
No.
No, I'm good.
I don't even want to think about it. I heard
Go
some
look
bad
that
shit
shit
about
up.
it.
Go look
Nope.
that shit up.
I know a
No,
dog
it's all right.
called Zeus. Is it
No.
like for dogs?
Zeus
For dogs
TV?
like your trans?
Shut up, Ryan.
What the fuck?
What the hell are you talking about?
He's got a dog. What are you talking about?
All right, so let's talk about this, man. This is interesting.
Oh shit! No,
We're gonna
okay,
talk about.
come on,
I wish Wyatt was here. I messaged him. Let's see if he gets on. But
Mhm.
we're gonna talk about Rebel Moon because
Oh,
Rebel
Oh,
Moon
yeah.
is very interesting. What's going on with Rebel Moon,
Yes, it's a
man?
weird
Rebel
one.
Moon. It's a little sus. This is a little sus. Now,
This is very
Um,
fucking sus.
yeah.
Nobody
So
don't like Zaki.
Oh, dude, this has had me
I'm not
fuming
a-
since
I-
last night.
I'm gonna be very clear. I'm not a Zack Snyder fucking chill or super.
me
I know a
Right.
lot of people who are. I don't care about that, bro. What I care about is if you read the reviews about this movie. If you read the reviews about it, it is very clear that this shit is targeted simply because it's Zack Snyder. you know, and from the same establishment that swears that we review bomb everything, right? Like they swear that that's what's happened. These motherfuckers are review bombing Zack Snyder right now.
Well, this is what I
They're
said
not even hiding
yesterday.
it. The
He's being
critics are
review bombed
openly-
by the critics.
openly
Yeah.
calling it. They're openly calling Snyder fans cultists. They're openly calling Snyder
In
fans
the
terrorists.
reviews.
They aren't even
Yeah, they
hiding,
are,
like,
yeah.
in the reviews themselves. They are not fucking hiding the fact that they are intentionally trying to trash this movie. Whether the movie's good or not, I don't know. I'm waiting for Netflix to watch it because I am a Snyder fan. But this is literally review bombing by fucking definition.
Right.
Yeah, it is.
But
Yeah.
what I said on my show yesterday was that I believe that we all know that there's these companies participate in coordinating social media bot accounts and all type of things. We know they do it in the hip hop industry. They talk about it all the time where you got artists when they're signed, all of a sudden they're the biggest artists on YouTube and they got all these streams, and when they're no longer signed, all of a sudden their fans disappear. That's because they're paying for these views. Well, when I go and look at this, I wouldn't be surprised if Disney is up to some shenanigans, because what if I'm not mistaken, Rebel Moon was at one point supposed to be a Star Wars film.
Yes.
And
Yeah, it was a Star
Yeah,
Wars
that was before
was-
Disney bought it though. They
wanted to pitch
he
it to
had a-
George Lucas, right?
So
they
what
had
would it look
plans
like-
actually.
What would it look like if because I mean it does have some Star Wars looking themes to it, right? How would it fucking look for them if they was to do, like, if he was to do a better Star Wars movie than Disney could? I wouldn't be surprised if
That's one of the reasons they're afraid of it.
Well,
That could be that.
But it's funny because, like, I hear, like, in the UK it came out last week, right? It came out last Friday.
Exclusively on the UK, and on the 22nd it will come out for everybody else.
Yeah, North
in the
America,
US
yeah.
at least. Yeah, so on Netflix.
I was hearing a lot of positive reviews coming from the UK, and then when it comes to North Americans, you're seeing all the hate, and you're seeing everything that you normally would see with Zack Snyder, which is typical. He's a horrible writer. He's bad at dialogue.
Shut your damn
but
mouth,
he's-
Jay.
He is. He's a terrible
He is
writer,
pretty
dude.
terrible
I don't know
at
what
it,
it is with the Snyder name, because Snyders just don't know how to.
Snyder's a very good visual director, but he absolutely
yes,
sucks as a
exactly.
writer.
The name itself,
Visually
it means
stunning.
He
sewer.
should be a director of photography.
His choreography is
Oh,
really, really good. He can do some cool action sequences, but his writing and his dialogue is just is terrible. Like,
Do you think
that's the problem?
Disney is taking part in attacking this movie?
Probably
Absolutely.
Because
They-
look
they
at
are.
this review here, where it says, if you have to choose one film where the protagonist visit a cantina full of shady aliens and hire a scoundrel pilot to ferry them across the galaxy in a rickety smuggling vessel, Star Wars handled this material much better more than 45 years ago.
What did I just
Star
say?
Wars took that from
Does that
Westerns.
not sound like
and
a
so
Disney
what-
show to you?
It does. That's what I mean. Like, I feel
Yeah,
like
it is a Disney
I
show,
was
yeah.
looking through this before the stream just because I wanted to get an idea. And bro, like the reviews are so obviously either paid for by Disney, right? Or they're just anti Zack Snyder people. Which again, like Leon said, this is 100% the definition of review bombing. This is the same thing that they complain about when we supposedly do it, right? Like when they get the 1 stars and the 2 stars, but they get comments that are, you know, as long. This is literally the same thing. This is the same exact thing. But it's
Yeah.
okay for them to do it because it's the establishment, right? It's verified.
You know, I do want to
Verified
mention one
critics.
thing. I did put like the link to the IMDb site. The rating there seems to be more balanced than on Rotten Tomatoes and Metacritic. Rotten Tomatoes and Metacritic,
bro.
Well, I'm saying like Rotten Tomatoes and the Metacritic website, like both of them, their ratings are exactly the same, but IMDb surprisingly is pretty well balanced, which surprises me, which means that they don't bother with IMDb.
The Lamplight review, this one right here, the Lamplight review
Yeah.
gave Rings of Power a 4 out of 5. I just fucking checked.
Fuck
Lamplight
you!
review gave Rings
Rings
of
of
Power a 4 out of 5.
fucking-
These motherfuckers. So, and this is why I said, because for anyone that wants more info on this, depending on how long we stay on it,
Blech.
hit up my channel afterwards, because this is literally what I covered today.
Disgusting.
Fucking Indiana Jones Dial of Destiny is certified fresh at 69%. Literally the worst movie of
Oh,
2023. Say what you want about the Marvels. Nah, I will watch the Marvels over Indiana Jones 5 any day. That movie is a certified fresh film from these same reviewers that are calling this a 20. I'm not saying the movie's good. I don't know. But when the audience is giving it a solid 73%, that means these Snyder cultists, as you call them, it's not like they're positive review bombing the movie. They're being
Right.
honest. 73% is fair, I would imagine. Depending
I
on the
don't know.
quality of
When
the
I
film.
reviewed it, I mean, when I was looking at them, I looked at the comments. I mean, the reviews on both ends. I looked at some of those positive reviews in the audience score. It was at 88% when I was looking at it. That shit dropped. That shit dropped.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
IMDb.
It dropped. It's not staying the same.
But-
it dropped.
Right.
People are coming in with multiple different opinions.
Some of them,
They gave She-Hulk a 3 out of
positive
5.
reviews look like bot reviews as well. Because I wouldn't be surprised if Netflix was like, "Oh hell no, this ain't finna flop like this after all this money we spent." They probably. I wouldn't be surprised if Netflix was on some shenanigans too.
Hey, Netflix, bro, you know
Quite
what? How
possibly.
bad Netflix is doing? Like, they're hoping Rebel Moon gives them some clout, and the only TV series they got up their sleeves that they're banking everything on is now Witcher after the Shadow and Bones one got canceled by them.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
the fourth.
Imagine
Bro,
the
I'm
irony.
not kidding. I am not kidding. They are
Imagine the
depending
irony.
on that shit. They think it's
Wow.
their lifeline.
No.
Yeah.
Let
It
me
was
let
in the
me
news
let me play
article.
review.
You
Let
are
me
a
read
slave
their
of the
closing
moment.
thoughts on Halo. Hold on.
No.
Here's their closing thoughts
Oh,
on
no.
Halo. With gorgeous production design, impressive visuals, and thrilling action, not to mention a solid cast and healthy respect for its roots
No.
as one of the most successful video
No.
game franchises in history,
Don't be-
Halo is off to a very auspicious beginning. These
No.
motherfuckers are saying Halo is good, but they're
No.
trashing this movie.
Okay,
No.
let me get
That
back
is
to what Dragon.
coordinated
Fuck
fucking
'em.
review bombing.
Let me get back to what
Don't want
Dragon
to-
was saying. Dragon,
Don't
that's
anger
cat.
the trans. Don't anger the trans.
The trans, good.
No, I was gonna say that's cap. Netflix has more up their sleeve than The Witcher.
No, I'm talking in TV series right now. Like in TV series, not like in everything overall. Like in the TV series category for now, the only thing that they are pinning everything on in terms of like high budget production on like famous IPs or whatnot that could give potential
forget
high
One Piece?
interest. Yeah, they don't count that. Sure, it might be successful now. Okay, it
Well, why
might be
wouldn't you
successful
count it?
now, but that's what they're pinning their hopes on. I hope they change their minds, but that's what they're pinning their hopes on.
But my question is, why would you say that they don't like? Why would One Piece not count?
Because at the time the news article came out and they said those comments, One Piece had not yet come out. It could have changed. I wouldn't know right off the top of my head if they did change it or not. But if with shows like One Piece, they can do well in the first season, but then when the second season comes around, it could potentially fail. Again, I'm not saying it will. I'm just saying that is a possibility. There's been a lot of cases where a show has a great first season, but then all of a sudden when season 2 comes around, they get overconfident and then they spew the same old bullshit that they didn't do in the first
that's
season.
fine. I agree with you there, but I'm saying that I just disagree with the overall sentiment that the only thing Netflix got to hinge their bets on is
It's not everything. It's the TV shows at the
no,
time.
because they got notes. Because Stranger
Oh, Stranger
Things
Things
season
wipes
5
the
is-
Witcher's ass when it comes to people
Exactly.
caring about it. Like,
They still got
I know.
Wednesday. They still got Wednesday. So
True.
And so I don't know. I mean, you know,
I don't know who wrote that article, but when I heard that, I was like, no, I don't. Either they're talking out of their ass.
Focus on the black picture.
The thing is, he
Yes,
wasn't even
black
looking at-
man. Yes,
and now they
Shaq
got
Pilgrim.
Yu Yu Hakusho. Oh, you know I'm finna be on that. I've been seeing,
It's not
I
bad.
think
It's
you'll
not
be
bad.
disappointed.
people been talking good about it, so I don't know.
It's not bad. I like it.
From
It
what I've
sticks to the
heard.
mixed things.
it sticks to the storyline.
I don't know.
See, no, that's the
Lightning's
opposite.
not
Like,
gonna
I've
strike
heard it does the
twice.
choreography and everything great and the set design great, but it doesn't stick to the story. In fact, it messes up a lot of the story.
I would almost.
Well, I'm
To
sorry.
be fair, that's to be expected. It covers 2 seasons of the show in 5 episodes. I'm expecting it to bastardize the story, but the choreography and stuff from what I've seen looks accurate and good. So there's that.
Well, we'll see eventually. I don't think lightning's going to strike twice, but we'll see.
Yeah.
So let's stick back to Rebel Moon. Now, a lot of these reviews, again, they seem to be mentioning Star Wars, right? Or giving puns to Star Wars. It says, in a galaxy far, far away, a group of peasants seek the help of a rebel alliance in order to end an oppressive empire, blah, 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 but still gave it a bad review. What should have been an inspired homage to sci-fi classics comes across as cribbed from cliff notes scribbled down by a sleep-deprived student who only half paid attention in film class. It's a vapid byproduct of outsized ambitions.
Bad review, woman made it.
This one's very obvious. Another Zack Snyder movie that deals with the same old issues. Quality production values with scatterbrained, incoherent storytelling. I feel like a broken record. So it's very clear that
Oh.
Valerie doesn't like
Most of their kind are.
right.
Yeah. You know, I am curious, like when I actually watch the movie, when it actually comes out, is it going to be like with Zack Snyder films? We only have two choices here. It's either going to be good or it's going to suck. And I hope it ends up being good and all the critics are wrong.
Sucking.
Because if they are even half right, we're kind of fucked, because that means that, you know, we could get a similar situation to what's it called? Batman versus Superman. If you remember that whole fiasco that people had at the time. You know?
Of course. I mean, the fact of the matter is that probably he didn't even receive a fair shot. And I don't know. I'm speculating here, but you know, given to what I see and how they want to suppress him in a creative way because he represents maybe values that they don't want to see anymore in their movies or whatever it is, or maybe he was just, I don't know. You know, sometimes it's trouble with one executive that leads to trouble with two executives that leads to trouble with the whole department, and then all of a sudden you got the whole studio against you, and then it's also a play on power sometimes. You know, sometimes
Some people still think
I'm a wee bit confused.
Zack Snyder still. Some people still think Zack Snyder is associated with Geeks and Gamers.
Well, considering he threw them under the bus.
He did throw them under the bus, yeah, but a lot of people there still are like, what are you doing on a stream with them in the first place? And I think that's got more to do with it than people give it credit for.
Yeah.
But that's just my take.
Well, probably there is something.
When you have friends and foes on both sides of a conflict, folks, you're rarely going to have a good time. And I see that in Mr. Snyder.
I mean, but to be fair, I've seen individuals like on our side of the fence who haven't seen this film yet. They're taking a look at the low IGN scores or the low Rotten Tomatoes scores, and they're being like, "Yep, makes sense. It's a Snyder film." Like, whoa. Our whole side of the internet has done nothing but shit on IGN and Rotten Tomatoes for the last 5 fucking years.
Yeah, I found that one
you're
too.
taking their side. You're being like, "Yep." It's like, no. You can't use IGN as your reason for not seeing this movie if you just spent the last 5 years saying that IGN doesn't know their dick from a hole in the ground.
Yeah,
It's true. They don't.
IMDb,
yeah, you can't shit on them and call them shills and call them fake and then say that they're suckling the teats and stuff like that, and then suddenly turn around and say, "Oh well, they didn't like this, so I'm not going to bother seeing it," because then you're a fucking hypocrite.
It actually does the opposite, believe it or not. They're giving indirect marketing to this film, because if anybody looks up the film ratings, they'll see Rotten Tomatoes and Metacritic, and I haven't seen IGN's rating, but if they see the super low rating and then they go to IMDb and other similar websites that have a higher or balanced rating, they're going to want to see it just to make the determination for themselves, because they can come to the same conclusion we did, which is that, oh, it's obvious enough, like Metacritic and Rotten Tomatoes is compromised. I guess it's the truth. They should.
That's
you
why
can tell
Rotten
that.
Tomatoes is so blatant with their reviews versus like IMDb, right? Because IMDb seems a little more fairly balanced for the most part. But Rotten Tomatoes, it's obvious, dude. Like this is, and I hate saying review bomb, but it's clear. If you want to call it review bomb, or you want to just say it's bots, whatever, doing a review bombing, or it's clear that this is every single review for the most part literally talks about two of the same things, right? They use it as some sort of a Star Wars reference because you just got to put it out there. And they also just mention Zack Snyder. So it's always Star Wars reference, Zack Snyder. That's the combination of two things that are just rampant in the negative reviews. And I don't know if they're comparing it to Star Wars because it's just another sci-fi movie. I really don't know.
It's closely
very
tied
similar.
to Star Wars.
Yeah, it's obviously closely tied.
But
It was a Star
he had
Wars
to redo. He had to re-edit everything because the characters he was using the Star Wars characters, and then he, like, when everything happened, when Disney bought over and they declined his story, he changed the characters and he made it all
a bit more
similar,
generic,
but different.
He
Like,
just made new
look at
characters.
this comment. I mean, this comment's exactly what I said. It starts off, Zack Snyder disappoints in a galaxy far, far away. It's like Star Wars reference, Zack Snyder. Like that.
But it's kind of funny that he's like getting blasted when he's like hiring like a trans Megs Visaggio for his comic He's like doing all these things, promoting, the woke movement or the far left movement, and these people are attacking him. It's just like
I don't know. Zack Snyder, I wouldn't call him woke or anti-woke. He said both things. I think to me, he's just a dude that says what he's thinking. He's also praised Ayn Rand, so
he kind of just does his own thing.
I mean,
yeah,
these
dude,
people are like,
Grace Randolph liked it.
Gave
Yeah.
it a fucking fresh. I'm like, that made me want to see this movie more. Not because I like Grace, but because I typically don't like Grace Randolph. I'm like, if even she is coming out and being impartial,
Against the curve and
I'm
stuff like that. Yeah.
interested.
I love that. I mean, the fact
Snyder
that
is a survivor. He does what he can to
Right.
survive, and I will
Right.
give the man credit for trying to bring his vision into the Justice League to lead it to a satisfactory conclusion. But that man does what he does to survive, and he is willing to throw anyone and everyone under the bus. Next magic spell, the black man's gonna disappear.
You know what I would like? I
Damn,
would
bro.
like if Ryan didn't do outros and left it up to the host of the show to do it. But hey, white people just want to take over everything. You know what I'm saying?
It is what it is. I mean, it is what it is. Hypno can't help it. Okay.
Atreus, do you have to go?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, Atreus.
Calling
Thank
it
you for having me as
Latinos,
always.
sir.
Tell everybody where they can find you.
Now we're going to lose our diversity. All we've got left is Leona.
That's enough.
Yeah, he's black.
Yeah, no, that's enough for you. No,
Stop interrupting Atreus'
No.
outro. Go ahead, Atreus.
All right, no, guys, I ain't too much to say. Y'all know how it is. Professional shit talker. You can follow me at Atreus, official Atreus on Twitter, Atreus on YouTube, and everywhere else. And I appreciate you guys for bringing me on here every week. And that's it.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate you hanging out, man. We'll see you in the next one.
All right,
See you,
take care,
Atreus.
man.
I'll be safe.
Bye.
Let's catch up
Save
on
some of that
some
cocaine
super
for
chats.
Coach. All right.
Well, real quick, Hypno, I want to address a comment real quick because Septillion 2501. Now, I don't know if you're saying this is a joke or not. I'm about to call out your comment. I don't know if you're joking or not, but he says the star of the movie is a girl boss of color vomit emoji. Have you seen it? Do we know that? This is the sort of thing that I was talking about last time. That our side, when it comes to the Furiosa people, just jumping. Oh, look, woman in the movie is gonna be woke. Do we really know that? If this movie, that could be the case. I don't know. I haven't seen it, but the movie's been out for one day in the U.S. in theaters. It's not on Netflix yet, and odds are you probably haven't actually seen the film. Oh, well, if the main character is a woman. Princess Leia was one of the main characters of Star Wars. She was awesome. We always talk about how we want to see strong, well-written female characters like Ripley and like Sarah Connor. If you haven't seen this one, maybe we're getting a strong, well-written female character. I truly don't get the knee-jerk reaction of jumping to, girl boss of color, vomit emoji. And again, Septillion, if you were making a joke, that's totally cool. But there are individuals who will look at this movie, and that's the thought they'll have, and they'll be genuine. Female main character. As if there can't be good movies with female main characters. That just makes our side look retarded.
That's the debate I had with Stupenzo when I told him to watch Blue Eye Samurai because he is a female lead, and he's like, first 4 episodes, he goes, dude, this is a woke. I don't know if I can watch this, and I'm like, dude, you got to really watch it again.
Yeah.
And after episode 5, he was like, this is the best series.
Yeah,
this is the best series I've seen in a long time.
Right.
Look, it's funny. I know.
That's
this is
fine, Lady D. She's 110 pounds kicking the ass of 5. It's sci-fi.
It is sci-fi. So
if she's going around there saying things like, girls get it done like they did in The Boys. If she's saying things like women, are better at ass kicking than men. Okay, yeah, that's woke. That's a problem. But if in the story, if she's got a reason, if she's been trained since she was 5 years old, or if she grew up in some sort of, it's called Rebel Moon. If she grew up in some sort of guerrilla warfare mentality ever since she was like a little child. That Ripley was also kicking the aliens' ass. I mean, in the sequel when she got in that mech suit, there's women can kick ass. Princess Leia.
No different than Fast and Furious. Fast and Furious, you got cars being swung around
out of Han's hand and gunned down. Maybe it was Luke's hand. Either way, Princess Leia jacked one of the guy's guns from them and gunned down stormtroopers during the rescue scene of A New Hope. Women kicking ass and being 110 pounds is not a big deal to me as long as it's well explained within the story.
so touching.
Men must lead the future into the 21st century.
Normal
Real
person
men.
at this point. Not
Men must be the star.
I want to
The
catch up on
actress-
Super Chats.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Kyoko Fulgarian, member for 7 months. Thank you, man. Says, I believe comics should be able to change. We need a balance of the new with the old school. However, we are done with comics preaching how evil we are as fans. Yeah, it's
That's fair enough.
interesting that when the comics actually do it, like it's one thing if the comic doesn't do it, but then the people who wrote it do it, like in interviews or whatever. But the comics are now doing it, and that's becoming a problem. And the comics are getting to the point where they're doing such nonsensical things. I mean, it's not even it's not even like accurate to the character anymore. You know what I mean? Like they're just writing
Random.
fuck all. Like it's
Right.
random. It's just random
It's
stuff.
random.
Continuity doesn't exist. It doesn't even matter anymore, and it's just a big joke. I Cthulhu member for 1 month. Thank you. Says disagree. America is individualistic, focused. Eastern comics are community focused, a matter of cultural foundation. Yeah, I mean the idea and the care for manga is definitely, and the stories are in them are definitely coming from a different place compared to American comics, in my opinion. You know, American
Yeah,
comics
I
are
talked about this before, and that's okay. I mean, every culture kind of represents its values and its modus operandi, and as long
Yeah.
as as long as you reflect that and you're honest about that, of course you go with the times and you kind of adjust a little bit and you are a bit more contemporary. But that doesn't mean that you need to completely strip everything apart that was valuable about the story just to insert something that is now on vogue. A
right.
Japanese author would most likely not do that.
And don't get it twisted. Like in a lot of manga, there's a lot of progressive messaging in it. And there's also, and I've mentioned this before, like with the male characters, a lot of them, some of these characters, they really make them look feminine, but they heavily declare that these are male characters. They never once say that they're gender conforming, non-binary, whatever. Like no, they're male characters, but they even make jokes to say about how they look female. You know, freaking Juzo from Tokyo Ghouls, probably one of the most badass characters, looks female, even gets made jokes about how he looks female. But still, he becomes special investigator and he's a badass. So it's like they make it a point to mention that stuff, but they also make it a point to make sure like this is a male. This is not a fucking transitioning man or whatever. This is a male that just is very feminine looking. That's basically it. I Cthulhu again for 5. It says, can we wash this horror out of our minds with a review of the American Fiction trailer? Never saw it. Could definitely check it out.
I think they were talking when we were looking at that trailer.
Magical
of the
Negroes.
magical
Yeah.
Magical Negroes.
Can we say magical Negroes now that Atreus is not here? We don't have that protection.
Ah.
Let me just get
Yeah, some other people have said it.
No, we can say that you and I are black, even though maybe not. We can
You're
just pretend.
Latins.
Fuck yeah!
Jay is black. Look at him. He is
All right,
black.
Jay, you're gonna have to hold the mantle, Jay. I'm sorry.
He is,
All right.
he is, what the hell is he?
Welcome
Almond
come
milk?
after us. We're gonna point at Jay and be like,
I'm
hey,
hung like one, so I might as well go with it.
Dun, 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 dun.
nice. The only one's gonna find out here is Leona. So.
Oh shit! Run!
All right, we're caught up.
To the Senate we go.
It's the progress I'm making with the draw.
Oh man!
That
Nice.
changed a
Nice.
lot.
Nice.
What the hell? Oh my god.
That is the minds of our stream. Just
No,
an
that's
amalgamation.
words of paradise.
Wow, that's really cool.
That's his mind.
I like it.
Words of
That's that
paradise.
ADHD brain, yeah.
Man,
Oh,
we
man.
lost all the diversity in the middle panel. Ended up with a fucking white Brit. This is great.
What's up?
Hey,
I'm
it
a
is what's up.
colonizer.
Colonizer got rid of the black and the Asian.
That's
And
it.
Ginger? Are you a
Day this
ginger?
time.
I am.
He's
I'm
a
so
ginger.
fucking
We got a
white.
Ginger.
minority.
There we go. We got a
There.
ginger.
So he's gonna get race swapped at some point then.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's only a matter of time until I become black. So
Yeah.
just keep watching.
He'll change into a Filipino, a real one.
Oh,
That's not
man.
gonna happen. Trust me.
But so the Rebel Moon thing, if you look at what's going on Twitter, right? A lot of it, the conversation that's spinning around is from like anti Zack Snyder people. I'm not really seeing Disney shills necessarily, kind of jumping on the train, but it's definitely anti Zack Snyder people, and it's a bunch of people that for some reason, and I don't know why, but there is just a massive hate for Zack Snyder. I know that he had a thing with Geeks and Gamers that obviously fell through, and that that was such a long time ago, but still, like I know that was a thing. So I don't know if the hate comes from that necessarily or just overall, but he's a polarizing figure for sure. Like he has a hardcore fan base. I mean, I know Prime is a Zack Snyder cultist for sure. He loves Zack Snyder, but then there's other people that just are on the complete opposite ends. So it's interesting to see the dynamic kind of spill over, in the reviews for his recent movie, because that's
Usually
really what
when
you're seeing. You're seeing the dynamic on both sides just completely
right.
going out of here. But to see the critics though, and that's what makes this the most interesting. The critics are doing, like I said before, what they accuse us of all the time, and they're doing it hard, and they're doing it openly, and they're not hiding it at all, and it's very plain for everyone to see. So I find it interesting that they're willing to do that for a movie like this, which makes me wonder, why do they hate him so much? Like why does
Yeah,
why
right.
does the mainstream hate Zack Snyder? Can anybody explain
Yeah,
that to me?
Especially when you have a
Writing.
movie that has like let's say
Not
she
any
is
better
married.
than
I
I
don't know if she is or not. Like, me and Lady D are going back and forth in the comments. It's fun. Like no shade, Lady D. I still think you're awesome. But like, yeah, we're going back and forth. Then technically, the movie does have a strong woman of color as the main character. You would think the MSM would eat that shit up, but they're
Yep.
not.
No,
Right, but that's
they hate
right.
it more than they care
if
about
they're
that.
willing
Usually-
to drop all facade, right, about identity
Right.
politics and all that stuff, if they're willing to drop all that, they have to really hate this person. Like they have to, like, what is the reason? Why do they hate this man so much that
Because
identity
they
politics
see
now
through
Is
takes
it
him.
is
back?
it
I think-
him or is it to protect their brand? Like that's
I think it's both. I think like when the studios
Yeah.
are acting this way, when they're going to such extent to organize such a campaign against him on so many levels, right? This is well organized, very well played out, and attack him on many levels because yes, he seems like he's playing according to their standards, but I believe they see through him. I believe they kind of see that he's a real nerd, also through the Geeks and Gamers connection, also to the vicinity or to the fan base in general. He tends to be too much on the fan side for their taste. And they know he could be potentially dangerous in the future. If he gains too much power, if he gains too much control, and if he gets too much budgets, then he can produce pretty much the movies that he likes and exclude any other narrative. And I think this is one of the reasons. I'm not sure I know everything about the backstory here, but usually when the studios attack you like that, it's because they are afraid of what you represent and the leverage that you can have.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I don't
Agreed,
know.
yeah.
I don't know who he pissed off. Like honestly, like you only get this if you piss someone off on both sides, or some like both
Somehow,
sides said
yeah.
we're gonna stop
Yeah.
attacking each other and we're gonna go after him. I think it's
Yeah.
because he dared to do this. I think I don't know. To me, it seems like he's trying. You know, when these announcements were made early on about Rebel Moon, you know how everybody was equating it to like, oh, Zack Snyder is trying to make his version of Star Wars, but with Netflix, right? Back when those rumors were started out. I feel like this might be at the core root of it. Like all these people are deeply connected with Disney Star Wars somehow. They know that Ahsoka did so terrible that if Rebel Moon turns out to be a success,
Sure,
in Netflix with the audience, then that could lead to the easy assumption that hey, maybe they were right all along. Maybe we do suck,
Maybe
and
we need Zach.
and he did something right. You know, I don't know. Again, we got to watch the movie, see how it turns out, because he's planning on making this like a big franchise or something like that.
Is he planning to make this into multiple? Like multiple?
Probably. I
movies?
won't be
I
surprised.
believe he said there's a third. There's a third movie, I believe.
Yeah,
And
the
there's
other
a
one's in the
prequel.
process of being written now.
Yeah. So they're
that's
gonna
pretty cool.
try. They're gonna try to at least get a couple movies out of him. You know, it doesn't surprise me. He did that.
But again, he's independent, right? He's doing something
he's
on his own.
independent, and
So
I think that's why.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
Yeah, so he's
Eric
independent.
July. Same thing. Like it's.
too
I totally agree with you, Slayer. Like
There's
it's
a bunch of reasons there. Then
That no, like I think that is that. There we go. You answered the question because I was wondering that. I've completely forgot. Yeah, he went independent when he shifted to Netflix. So yeah, there must be that's why everyone's attacking him all of a sudden.
It's not mainstream because
Anytime
Warner
you
Brothers.
succeed without mainstream, it is not good. Like like we were talking about with comic books, right? People who are trying to protect the old guard. They're not going to be happy when someone succeeds well past what people either think is possible or thought was like whatever. Like if you succeed well past that, even slightly, they're gonna do their best to try to take you down. by far.
The
Because if
industry
they take
didn't
you down,
always
it
work
keeps
like
you
that,
up.
though. Back in 1990, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was the highest grossing indie film of all time, and it was celebrated for it. Like,
that was the mentality back then, but we're now in a period where that the mentality has shifted to where you're either with one group or another.
Right, or
You
another.
cannot simply say, I don't want to be part of any of this. I'm gonna go out my own
And
way.
you can't dance between groups either.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
you're also talking about a time where, like, Todd McFarlane, Jim Lee, Rob Liefeld, they were like the biggest artists. Like their comics were selling millions, and then they left, and they went independent, and they sold millions and millions of their books. Like Todd McFarlane's still around, and he's very successful. Liefeld is doing what he can with Deadpool, and Jim Lee is Jim Lee. But at that time, they were celebrated for bringing comics back because Marvel wasn't doing well. Marvel was doing well, but then it went bankrupt.
no, they weren't.
in
They
like
filed for
96.
bankruptcy during that time. They weren't doing
Yes, yeah, they were.
No, in the early 90s, they were successful because Jim Lee, they sold 8 million.
Late
They
90s,
they had the record for selling the most comics ever. Jim Lee and Chris Claremont with that.
That doesn't mean the company as a whole. All I'm saying is they filed for bankruptcy, or they almost filed for bankruptcy.
That was later. That was
yeah,
later.
I'm saying it was in the 90s.
Yeah.
It was literally 4 or 5 years later. So whatever they did wasn't enough to save them in the long run, is what I was getting at.
Well, yeah, because everyone
Jim Lee,
left.
Bob Liefeld, that whole era is gold. It's considered gold. Well, not golden age, like in the literal comic term, but like for us fans that were reading in that time, there's some holy grail books there. I'm just saying that it wasn't enough to save Marvel.
Right.
No,
Well,
because everyone
Marvel's
was
more
leaving
fucked
to
now.
do independent. They go independent.
I
And
mean,
people are still now. You're seeing a lot more artists leave and go independent. You're seeing like Silvestri kind of flirt around doing his own stuff. You're seeing a lot of the you got the Ghost Machine with Jay Fabic and Jeff Johns and all those guys. They're creating their own publishing and comic book. Everyone's leaving because they see the writing on the wall with the mainstream comics. They're dying. They're not allowed to be creative. They're being told what to do. You got to toe the line or you're out. It's the same thing with Snyder doing his own thing. Snyder's doing his own thing, and people don't like it, and it's gonna kill Hollywood. It's gonna make them look even worse than where they're at right now.
They don't want another situation like a. Yeah, this is fine.
I like that face.
That's very nice.
But that's so true, man.
It's
God,
true,
did you
man.
post it on Twitter? That should go.
Yeah, they're all on
You
Twitter.
have to.
Tag
You
it.
have
We'll
to.
rub the moon. That
They're
shit
all
is
tagged
so wild, boys.
#SNH69. So
I'll just say that woman does not look too brown. I think she's welcome.
She's French Algerian in real life.
Oh, that fucking mix.
I mean, look, French seems
I
to
don't
make
like
well
France.
with
And I
anything.
certainly don't like fucking Algeria. Stop trying to sell it to me, Dragon.
No, I just what? I didn't say, what? She's pretty.
I'm
Not that
British.
bad.
Don't like
she's
France.
pretty.
Don't
Oh
like
my
Africa.
Hilarious. But
Oh
no,
my God.
it's very clear, man, what they're doing, and at this point, it's just whether they want to keep going and make it even more obvious, or the Zack Snyder fans are gonna go nuts and they're gonna try to counter it. I really don't know, honestly. I think people should just watch it and figure out whether they like it or not. I think considering it's a brand new IP with no history, all right, unless aside from ties to Star Wars.
Yeah.
Well, it's
just
It's just they don't want
give it a shot. If
the
you
old
like
guy.
it, great. If not, fuck it. Like whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And go watch it on the pirate ship if you don't want to support Netflix or whatever.
Look,
Yeah, it could
I
be
just
a
think
6 out of 10 film. Fantastic, but you don't really want to watch it ever again.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
it's one
that's
of those
fine.
one hit. It's not a movie that you're gonna want to probably watch again. That's fine.
Yeah.
There's certain movies that are like that are they're good, but you just you don't have to see it again.
Yeah. Exactly.
But the thing with Snyder is, like we mentioned earlier, it's visually stunning. You're going to be entertained that way. It's no different than the
Yeah, of
creator.
course.
The creator was visually amazing, but the story was shit. Like the acting and the the writing and the direction was shit. Now Snyder, like that's the thing with Snyder. He has a long history of really bad writing, and the dialogue is just terrible. With his direction, I'm not holding my breath with this, but hope I'm wrong. But I don't know.
Well, it says here he co-wrote the script with Kurt Johnstad and Shay Houghton, so it might have some. It might actually be half decent or at least good, because it's not him 100% on it. So maybe he did learn. I don't know. Maybe it'll be good.
It's difficult. It's difficult.
It's
I mean,
difficult.
besides
review this movie.
Yes. So Zack Snyder is he's the director and I assume main writer, but he is co-writing this with 2 other writers. So it could end up being at least good. Okay. If it's not him 100% handling the writing portion, so we'll see. You know, we'll see how it turns out, because
that's the only thing you can say now, isn't it?
Yeah, no, because
Wait
the
and
thing
see.
is, like, you guys got to remember, you know, to go back in time a little bit. When the Lord of the Rings movies were being made, those were considered very expensive indie films. You know, like that's how Peter considered himself. That's how every actor that worked on that set, every production person said.
Yeah.
We were
Orlando Bloom
working
got
on
like 175K for that movie.
Like,
he got like a ridiculous paycheck for that.
Like
movie.
every movie had like a 80 to $90 million budget each, you know, so that it shouldn't be, and they became massive hits because there was a lot of passion there and the proper people were handling it. So I just hope at least with this one, half of the stuff of the passion that was put into Lord of the Rings gets infused into this, and that it does well enough, because by God, we really need someone to just fucking give Disney a middle finger at this point.
Well, it's starting,
think
isn't
you're
it? I
seeing-
mean,
I think you're seeing that,
that's
though, yeah.
definitely happening.
Yeah.
You've got the South Park.
I mean, Elon Musk
Pandaverse.
literally gave him a middle finger on stage.
Yeah.
No, I
Tell
mean,
them
like,
to go fuck themselves.
I mean, on the
It's
independent
literally
scene.
happening. And
You're
of
seeing
course, I
Godzilla.
think even
Godzilla
big-
-1 is like that's destroying
is
Disney.
outperforming
Boy and
Disney.
Heron.
Yeah. Blue
Yeah.
Eye Samurai, Arcane, all these things are making Disney look awful.
Blue Eye Samurai is fantastic.
Yeah, but I'm talking mostly
Oh,
like in
it's
the
great.
independent.
great.
Like, I just want an independent film to give them a middle finger now.
Right? No,
That's all
you're-
I want.
You're
But
right, Slayer.
Well, to be fair,
it's
it's important to narrow down what an independent film means, because independent, an indie film, it doesn't mean independently financed, which is
No,
that's
of
how a lot
course.
of people. So this film was independent, as in it was independently financed. But what matters is, does it have guaranteed distribution? And if it has guaranteed distribution, it's not an indie film. That's why Lord of the Rings is not technically an indie film. They were not indie films because they were given
because they had New Line
guaranteed
Cinema behind
distribution.
them.
Well,
Would
yeah,
you say-
you're right. You're right.
Oh, well.
In those terms, yes, you're correct.
Because they
When
had
I
New
mentioned the indie film, that is just how Peter Jackson himself and many others mentioned it while they were
Yes.
working on set. But I'm
The
sure they knew
atmosphere
at that point
I
they
mean,
weren't an indie film.
they definitely made it with an indie attitude.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
that is
Yeah,
obvious.
100%.
Which
So
is why it's
Yeah.
held up so well, I think. Probably.
Mhm. And look, I'm really just excited to see if this movie turns out to be really good. You know, I don't mind adding another interesting sci-fi universe to my checklist. You know, hopefully it's interesting. You know, hopefully
Yeah, I'm gonna
Hopefully
check
it makes money.
I'll check it
yeah,
out. and review
hopefully.
it.
Look, for all these things, like
Just
people
don't go
think
see
that-
it in theaters. Normally, you would say don't support this movie in theaters, and the reason for that is because next week they're releasing the director's cut to fucking Netflix. Why the fuck would you put a movie in a limited run 1 week in theaters only for the superior version to release streaming in a week? That's fucking retarded.
Wait, are you serious? Is
I'm
that
not
depends.
joking. That's
Was
why
the
I have
director's
not,
cut
I would have
definitely
gone to see it
superior?
this morning before SNH if it was going to be released like a regular movie, but it's not.
Yeah.
The director's cut is hitting Netflix the 21st, next Friday. Or what?
why?
That's hilarious.
Because they're retarded.
Yeah, right.
That does
Isn't
seem
that what
like
they
a
did with Black
really
Widow?
counterintuitive thing to do.
Yeah. So with Black Widow,
bad
no. Black
counterintuitive
Widow
thing.
is back. So Black Widow originally was only supposed to be like based off the contract agreements they made with Scarlett Johansson before the pandemic. It was supposed to. It was the whole thing was set up for a theatrical release contract terms, but when the pandemic came around, they couldn't release it in theaters, so they also they couldn't release it as much in theaters because nobody was going out there at the time. So they released it on their streaming platform, and Scarlett got real mad because they never ask her to up. They never asked her,
Updated the
hey, we need to update the terms or whatever, and that's why she sued them. And that's
Well, the thing
why.
is,
wait a
like,
minute, wait a minute.
normally
So
I'm the
they-
first one to tell you people go to the theaters. I'm a massive proponent of going to the theaters. I go to the
Yeah,
theater
me
for
too.
any movie that's released in theaters that I want to see. I never watch it at home. This and Napoleon are the exceptions because Napoleon also has the 4-hour director's cut releasing in January, even though the movie came out in late November. If you're going to be so fucking stupid as a corporation to say, here's the movie in theaters, here's the better version a week later or even 2 months later on
Yeah.
streaming with all this cut content, why would I not watch the version with the cut content? If you're going to pay to go to the theaters, you should be getting the best version of the movie. I'm not going to
It's
pay for an
also,
inferior fucking version.
It's also an R rating. The director's cut
Hello.
is
Yes,
is
it is.
rated R, whereas the
Mhm.
theater version is PG-13.
Oh, that's
So that's
Oh,
that
they released.
that,
well, they just
that
shooting
gives you an
themselves in the
idea
foot,
of
and then they wonder
how,
why the
much
box
better it
office
could
is
be.
not performing the way it used to. You know,
They-
aside from the movies being terrible lately, but
Look,
And
I
actually,
noticed
apparently,
also-
Snyder says the R-rated version is actually a cleaner cut than the PG-13.
Really?
oh yeah, I would imagine
Oh,
if he originally
no
intended it to
fucking
be
shit.
an R movie, and he had to force it some cuts
Yeah.
to make it PG-13, then yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how much the budget is?
Paul
with-
Anderson in the comments real quick is entirely correct. When people throw shade at Snyder, watch his director's cuts are great. Batman v Superman director's cut, great. Man,
Oh, yeah.
obviously, the Snyder cut, great. Like Zack Snyder's director's cuts are awesome.
No, yeah,
It's
they
just
are.
theatrical
They
cuts.
are.
Awful.
Oh
I mean,
no,
the Snyder
Oh,
cut
no.
is very
Awful.
divisive.
Jay's starting to strike a war
I mean,
already.
Awful. They're awful.
The Snyder cut was.
But
mean, it was-
Steppenwolf looked better in the cut. In the
He
director's
looked
cut.
better.
In all honesty, ladies and gentlemen, I've
looked
never
better, but-
understood. I've never understood the reason for the separation between theatricals and directors. Release one or the other. That's my prerogative, but I'm sure there's a reason for it. This is
I
not
would
my
imagine rules and
opinion.
regulations, probably.
Oh,
I mean,
That's what
regulation.
Kevin Smith says, though. So watch out for that. He's
You know what?
like, this cut should be the
Zack
one that
Snyder's
goes
kind
out.
of in. Zack Snyder's kind of in that field with Waika Tahiti, whatever his name is.
Taika
Waititi.
Taika, whatever,
Waititi.
whatever.
No,
That-
Taika. No. Taika Waititi.
Waititi.
Easy.
Yeah.
If it's a big name, just
Would
say
you-
that Jew. Everyone knows what you mean.
When you have him in a box, when you have a leash on him, and you give him direction where to go with a movie, he'll put out a good project.
Yes.
Yeah.
leave it up
When
to
you let
and
him
he'll
have
put out
freedom,
chaos.
when you let him have free reign, he puts out dog shit. Zack
Yeah.
Snyder, same thing. Zack
George
Snyder,
Lucas
when he's
is
working
away.
with Frank
Why
Miller.
use Taika Waititi
Wait.
when you use George Lucas?
Leona, settle down. When Snyder worked with Frank Miller, everything was great. He did some great work. When he had free reign to do shit, it's dog shit. So like these guys need to be put in a box.
Fair enough.
Lucas was Lucas's version of Star Wars was nothing like what we actually ended up seeing. It was Marsha Lucas who actually put all that heart and soul into it.
That's
We
all I
would've-
was saying. Jay,
and
was
if you
use-
look at the stuff
use
that
Lucas
Lucas
as your
was
comparison,
making,
not Taika Waititi. Put
Yeah,
some
but I
respect
mean,
on Snyder.
if you
deserves at
if you
least
look
that.
at if you look at the stuff that Lucas made before Star Wars,
To you,
apart from
Leona.
American Graffiti, there's a lot of
THX
dystopian
1138.
1138 and stuff like
Oh,
that.
my
That's
God.
what
First short
Star
movie.
Wars.
Yeah.
Star Wars would have been like that.
Yeah,
but
hyper
Marsha Lucas was like,
intellectualized. Yeah, we need
exactly.
to
Marsha
he
Lucas made
actually-
it accessible to everybody. So
George
it's
Lucas
not any
shot the
different.
movie actually way slower. It is
Very
Marsha that
creative
added that dynamic and that speed. But hey, again,
Exactly. Yeah. Very often, creative people are left to their own devices, don't know when to stop.
the
They
Wachowski,
just going and
tranny,
going and going.
demons, whatever.
I have
they
this
are.
problem as well. I do it all the time. I've sometimes ruined my own projects by thinking too much about them and stuff like that. So it's nice to have a different set of eyes come in and say, "Stop now. This is good enough."
Yeah.
It's-
You know,
that circles back to the comics when like comics were
Yeah.
their best. You had really strong editors. Like you had Jim Shooter, you had I'm losing his name, but you had really strong editors that gave really good direction to what they want with the comics. And yeah, it
And
might upset
what-
some
What?
Bruce Amigos, but it
Very
worked.
nice.
When you have
Where's-
activists come in,
Where's the
Dumb
cancel
bitch.
pig shit? I've been seeing that trending, and I must have missed something. What's
damn.
Mark realize they
early,
cancel
early in the
page?
stream when That's why we say like there's like a little bit of a civil war in American comic books right now, because it's two sides kind of going at each other, and people who basically have had enough, where they say, you know what, we're done with this shit that's happening in comic books right now. Let's get back to making good stories and focusing on that. They basically started making cancel pigs a thing, where they're making fun of the people who are trying to just be, cancel culture warriors. They're trying to do everything they can to try to shame. They're trying to shame you into, either canceling the person or forcing them to be into social messaging, progressive politics, whatever.
Damn, sanguine.
So it's so Mark Miller came up with the term cancel pigs. I see. Right?
Correct. So this person, Ren Famous, says, is Mark Miller going to apologize to the rest of us dealing with this cancel pig shit that he started, or is he only apologizing to Gail after his attempt to drag her through the mud backfired?
You are a pig, woman. Look at you. The fellowship agrees. You're a fucking pig.
Oh my god.
Fucking Vic Mignogna, who to this day did nothing wrong. Fuck Infamous. She's a fat, slovenly pig, and she does not deserve a happy life on this planet. Liquidate your existence. And I can say that because I'm a tranny. I'm a protected class. Fucking cunt.
There you go.
Bitch, yo.
Using the benefits.
Honestly, cancel pigs is great. I think the fact that it's trending and been trending for over 24 hours now is pretty cool. It's actually longer than that. I think 48 hours, but it's pretty funny.
Is that the replacement for wokies now? It's cancel pigs.
Yeah, cancel pigs. It's
That's
great,
a much better term.
Because
and
you know what it is?
Cancel pigs.
These woke people, the one thing that they love so much is their image. They love their image. They are virtue signaling kings and queens, and they absolutely need everybody to know that they are perfect human beings that are just so virtuous, and they do no wrong, and they're just above everybody in terms of moral superiority. So the fact that something like this, cancel pigs, is aimed towards them, it's affecting image, and they don't like it. They hate it. It drives them insane. So you know what? It's kind of like bringing shaming back. Like we're bringing shaming back. That's all. Bring bullying back.
The world needs a
That's
little
what it
bit more fucking shaming.
Bringing back
You want to be a cancel pig? Okay, that's fine.
We're bringing back the scarlet letter tactics at this point.
That's how
This is
we're
the
gonna
letter
get
A
into,
in human form.
if that's the term we're all going to use, I'm 100% behind it because it totally fucking fits that. And I'm glad somebody's already obviously done the AI image of a blue-haired pig there. It's fucking perfect.
Oh my
we have an icon, we can use it.
It's worth endorsing
Steve
all
says
those
if they
animal
deny it,
farm.
they fat shaming.
Look, when you're in a cutthroat industry, folks, it's kill or be killed. It's either they're going to do us in, we're going to do fucking them in. And I like that kind of mindset. So,
hey, it's be interesting.
Did you guys see that video that Erotic posted on Twitter?
Which one?
It's actually pretty damn interesting. Hold on, let me bring it up. So I guess he's in a bookstore, and the American comic book section is so tiny, and then the manga section is gigantic. Yeah,
That's how my local Barnes and Noble is, though.
Yeah,
Comic
I
book
just saw
section
that.
is one little fucking rack, and then the manga section is literally like 19 by 19.
Graphic
novel.
It's not bad. It's
cute.
That's the American comic section.
Okay.
Manga.
2,
all right.
3, 4, 5, 6.
This is all manga.
More manga.
7,
It's literally how my
more
Barnes and Noble
manga.
is. In fact, the comic book, the graphic novel section is even
yeah.
smaller in my Barnes and Noble.
Keeps going.
Oh god, there's One Piece. Yeah.
Keeps going.
Fuck me.
Wait, it's not over.
No, not yet.
It's still not over.
There's Bleach.
More manga. Jesus Christ.
Yo, that is crazy.
Keep on going. Keep on growing.
At first, it looked like the comic book section was going to be the bigger, but then, fuck, no. The manga section is 10 times the size.
Not even close. And you got to wonder how many of those American comic books are probably on clearance or something,
Bro, it's because manga, the current day manga is just more fucking interesting. I'm sorry. It's just... It is less bloated with all the stuff the cancel pigs keep shoving up like these damn comic books,
Not even current day though, Dragon, because those bookstores they're reselling old One Piece, old Dragon Ball, old Berserk, old Naruto,
that's true.
old Pokemon. So it's not even current day manga. Manga has just lasted long.
No, I'm saying current day, like people prefer manga.
Hell, I'm reading
I know, I'm
Naruto
saying
again right now. Like that's what I've been reading.
I'm
in
saying that like current day people prefer to read
yeah,
manga
yeah.
more. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
it's again, it's like we've been arguing for since early in the stream. This is not even close. This is just a physical representation of where the numbers lie, right?
Yeah.
And it's obvious. Like this is a business. They know what's going to make them money. They know
Yeah, it's capitalism.
that it's very clear that manga. How much bigger you think? They're like 4 times bigger, maybe 5 times bigger.
5 times.
Probably
five,
5
at
times
least
bigger.
5.
Like,
At least 5.
and you also got to remember too, manga is much smaller books, right? So you could fit a lot more on shelves, I would imagine, or at least more shelves. If you can't fit as many books per shelf, you could definitely fit more shelves. American comic books are usually bigger in stature in terms of longer, right? Like, yeah, you could tell they're a lot taller. They may be thinner, but they're a lot taller. So
yeah,
you can't have as many shelves. They got 4 shelves here, and it's got like manga here, which again,
15,
that's
25
just look at
shelves.
that. Look at that. It's fucking nuts.
I would say it's like 10 times that actually.
Yeah, it's probably
Yeah.
You know, I noticed the Boston Tea Party is celebrating its 250th anniversary, and as soon as I saw that, I was like, "Get that off the fucking screen!"
I want you to look at the variation too, which is what makes.
I've got
manga-
a shared window here with probably the best looking cancel pig in it.
I'll show you.
Oh
I'll show
my
you. Just give me a
God.
second. The American comic books, the variation is very slight. Like they all kind of look the same for the most part. Tall books, thin, nothing crazy. With manga, if you look, the variation, you have omnibuses. You have omnibuses, right? Which are these? The bigger versions of the story. So there's like more volumes in one. Not a lot of people like to read those. They like to collect those, but they don't like to read those. They like to read the singles.
I read the singles, yeah.
You have box sets, right? Special box sets.
When I read manga singles all the way, but dude, I want those big, thick Berserk collectors omnibuses.
Yeah,
those are
cool.
so
Oh yeah, they're beautiful.
Those are amazing.
Oh yeah.
You also have like collector's editions that I think I saw over. I don't know where I saw
toward
it.
the end.
Here.
Yeah,
Like,
there's the
there was
Naruto
one
omnibuses.
there was
and
one
Bleach
like really big collector's edition box that I saw, but I don't know. Maybe
Naruto and
look at this. What the
One
fuck is
Piece
this? This thing
alone.
is like this thing is gigantic.
Is that Naruto? No.
This is one book.
No, that I mean, if you can get closer.
That's the Lizzo of books, ladies and gentlemen.
That looks like the pages. That doesn't look like a box set. Or
That looks like an older manga, actually. When I think
I
about
don't know.
it.
But the thing is, it's the variation. I mean, look at the options that you have. You got My
it's
Hero
crazy.
over here.
Well, I mean, in Japan, it's because of like the variety of people that read it as well. Like, there's so many people that have different types of likes and dislikes, and as a result,
I mean,
you
it's
get
not
a
a genre,
large
is it?
variety, and that
It's not a-
translates well overseas. You know,
Manga's not a genre, it's a medium. With
It's
genres.
literally a
To be
medium.
fair,
It's
so
just
are
part of a
comics. The
culture.
thing is, people think of comics and they immediately think of superheroes. They don't think about
Yeah.
detective stuff. They don't think about romance. They
Exactly.
don't think about
Yeah.
horror. Manga, on the other hand, you
Doesn't have
literally
that.
don't. You don't just think of shonen. Like some people might, but I think the majority of people, at least in the 21st century and almost 2024, when you think of manga, their head doesn't immediately go to shonen, even if that's the most popular. But most
mine
people
does
do go
because
to superhero
that's
when
what
they
I
think
read.
comics.
Yeah,
Yeah.
shonen is still the most popular, but this you cancel.
not Stacy the
fucking
cancel
great.
pig.
I wish I'd made that, but I didn't.
That'll be a great fucking thumbnail.
Daily Bugle approved. It has
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
reality-based seal of approval. Too.
I think that's gonna be a
Oh.
thumbnail at some point. In the future.
Oh,
I don't know.
wow.
for what.
Yes.
I don't know.
So
for what,
hot.
but that
So
is-
hot.
That is
That's
epic.
definitely going to be in a thumbnail of mine.
This
at
is
some point.
definitely
so
what
hot.
Ryan
The shirt
did for
just
one
gets
day,
me
for
already.
sure.
I need her digits.
I know.
I need her
Calm
digits.
down, Slayer. I know it's
No,
hard.
no, I'm just
I know
kidding.
it's hard
Ryan
to
paid for
resist.
the services of this creature without
Yeah.
it.
That came from the
Get in
Bugle
my
Daily. The Bugle Daily is a
belly.
fucking great Twitter account. If you guys don't follow it,
Ryan, think of the piglets you can create with that thing.
No.
Jesus.
No.
Oh,
Your kind,
Paul
fuck
Anderson
animal.
wants her ass.
Your kind.
to be fair, Ryan, to be fair, maybe if you fuck this thing, your kids won't come out with such a shitty hairline because it looks like it actually has hair.
I refuse to be mocked by a man wearing women's clothing. You are wearing women's clothing.
To be fair, you
One of
made
the
that.
cancel
You made
pigs,
that
so-
man who's wearing women's clothing a rising star.
And he just bent you over with that last joke.
Because he's a talented
Surely.
creator.
And
we make
my
it
nerdy home,
far.
you are correct. My manga collection is getting insane. So
He's a talented creator who has gained the support of about 2,000 subscribers in about a year, and I'm sure he'll get double that by the end of next year. Bare minimum, despite the fact that he dresses up like a fucking lunatic.
Misgendering aside, I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Congrats there, Leona.
Misgendering aside, that's great.
Oh my god.
Congrats
Yeah,
on 2 grand.
in misgender
It has
mode.
no right.
Congrats on the simps, Leona. You've done well. Now make
I love
them
this
pay
meme.
you money.
DC and Marvel getting increasingly woke. Manga companies providing a non-woke alternative.
Yeah,
Again,
right.
I wouldn't necessarily call it non-woke. Okay,
It's
because
just-
there's definitely social messaging in a lot of
you know,
and they're more prominent in like slice of life manga, but still it's in your shonen. It's definitely in your shonen without a doubt.
No, I would counter that and say it is non-woke though, because at least for my barometer of how I measure woke is, does the agenda come before story and character? You can have social messaging in it not be woke, just they put the message first. Whereas manga has messages in it, but the story and characters still even in slice of life stuff, because I love slice of life.
they take priority.
They still put the story
Absolutely.
first.
But I'm just saying from a regular person's standpoint, because what most people woke just means, oh, female in it, like you said earlier, female in it. Oh my god,
fair enough.
So that's what I'm saying. Like if people who defend manga online, a lot of them I feel like jump the bandwagon just because manga is like the thing that everybody wants to support because they want to hate on American comics. But what I mean by manga would be woke if you read it, it's because a lot of people who are defending manga probably don't even read it, most likely. So if they read it, a lot of these people who are sensitive to the woke stuff, right, they'd be shocked to see some of the stuff that is in these books. They would take it as being woke if they want to remain consistent, obviously, right? But for me,
I've heard people try and call One Piece woke. They're like, no, One Piece is progressive. It's not woke.
Right.
It is progressive. It's not woke.
One Piece is like equally attractive to progressives and conservatives.
Yeah,
Or it's libertarian if it's anything, really, because it's
breaking news,
goal
ladies and
is to be
gentlemen.
the freest man in the
Breaking
world.
news: Americans can read. Shocker.
And we read right to left.
Yeah, right.
But no, it is.
People
If
still
you
see
read your
me
shonen, if you read even your shonen, like you'll see social messaging in there. Like I was talking earlier about the guys who look feminine and all that stuff, and everybody says they look like girls, but like people could misconstrue that if you never actually read manga and don't know the history and whatnot. But yeah, it's not woke at all. Like, they don't. What was that?
Okama. It's, it's the Japanese sort of gay.
Correct.
Like what's the word? Flamboyant kind of thing.
Correct.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they
we all remember our first trap. Like
I'm talking about like
I think what you're saying, there's a flavor for everyone.
And Ivankov from,
it doesn't take precedence. That's the thing.
They don't shy away from it. Yeah.
It doesn't take precedence over it.
Matt Hatter actually brings up. Matt Hatter says, "Does social messaging just mean left wing?" At least for me, no. So if I say this all the time, if I see a movie, Lady Ballers, I consider Lady Ballers woke, and the reason I consider Lady Ballers woke is because it puts a political message ahead of the actual story and characters. So typically, when people refer to woke, they do mean left leaning. I think that is disingenuous to the term. So I at least in my instance, social messaging is not just left wing. Lady Ballers is woke.
It's just
more. Here's a right wing.
Lady Ballers is definitely not woke, because woke specifically means using perceived marginalized groups to create a pseudo victim mentality about either yourself or another group, and then use that to get virtue points. That's woke.
Whatever the right-wing word for woke would be, which maybe there hasn't been one invented yet. Maybe we could come back up with that.
Based.
Jewish.
Based.
No, it's
based. Telling the fucking truth.
Like what Leon's saying is definitely true. And you know what? Both sides have their narratives. Both sides are going to do what they're going to do, right? And it is interesting, and it's good to see a counteract to what has been predominantly left-wing controlling media or entertainment. Right. And to be honest, that word woke, everybody has a different definition for it. Everybody. You ask 10 different people what the meaning of woke means, and it's literally it's all different.
I'm working
So-
on a unified definition of it.
The
I
term,
made a video about it.
I want
the
to do
term they
a
don't use. The term they
the
don't use
whole-
anymore is snowflake. You don't hear that anymore.
Yeah.
They
yeah,
don't.
we
Well,
don't
they
hear that
call us
anymore.
that now.
Can we call
People
them
come into
dirty
my doc-
queers?
People come into my Doctor Who comments and they call us snowflakes for bitching about Doctor Who. So they've tried to appropriate that term for their side against based people
Yeah,
telling the
they,
truth.
they have been doing that.
Right.
I
And
remember
Nikolai
saying-
Volkot, maybe Lady Ballers isn't woke. That's fair. Maybe woke is the wrong word. Maybe there's not a word for
It's
it.
definitely
However,
permitted.
it does do what I'm getting. The point I'm making is that anything that puts the message first ahead of story and character is a problem, and Lady Ballers is that. So right wing woke,
Well, it's a
or
political
again,
movie, for
well,
sure.
the South Park episode I counted as a parody, so it's parodying certain
Yeah, that is
certain
comedic
To me,
parody.
aspects
Lady
of real
Ballers is
life,
kind of
which is
it's-
why in Lady
it's
Balls
like
can kind of
parody.
fall in the same category too. It's kind of like a parody of real life, real
Yeah.
life things that are going on. That's
and I mean,
basically it.
Lady Ballers actually has quite a lot of heart in it as well. Like towards the end, it rises above just the cheap jokes and actually finds.
I think Daily Wire is going to get better at it.
Yeah.
It's obvious, man. This is new territory for them. You're talking about like real big mass scale movies for the most part. Like they're not. This is new for them. So this is not good first try. Obviously, it's not the most amazing movie in the world, but
No,
it's
but
a
I
good
enjoyed it,
first try,
actually.
and I think it'll get better. I do think it'll get better. And again, even if it stays stagnant, just the fact that there is a counteract to
exactly
what's going on right now is
Some
just
sort of
it's
an
good enough
alternative,
because
yeah.
competition breeds superiority in some place. So
Are you
I
guys
love
reading
being
T-Gab's
I gotta
comments?
catch up with all this cancel pick
Yeah.
stuff. I got to get on this.
Oh, just type in cancel
This
pick.
is
Zoke.
You're gonna go down a rabbit
That's
hole.
Coach's domain.
Zoke.
Choking.
Choke. Awake. How about awake?
That's amazing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, listen, we're at the 3-hour mark, man. Episode 69 was awesome. Thank you, Project Eggroll, man, for hanging out with us. Appreciate him and the team over there, and I hope they can come back again. But let's do our outros real quick. Coach MC, take it away, sir.
It was a fantastic pleasure being part of this again. 69 episodes of venting our frustration, but also coming up with solutions. We're not just complaining; we're finding new ways of expressing, and this already is new as a new creative path. And if you're looking for a new creative path in your life, if you try to come up with something that is just it goes beyond the usual imagination, and you need a couple of tools to achieve that, whether it's in acting and performing in art in general, then come over to the Coach MC studio. Enjoy my tips on being more creative. We're going to explore a lot of content in the next couple of months. I put up a lot of videos. We're in the process of editing them. Really sorry. We had the Miami Film Market. We had Art Basel. We had so many events coming up, and also our networking event that we're organizing over here with the creative. So if you're from the Miami area, join the madness. If you are somewhere over the place, contact me through my website. It's thecoachmc.studio. If you're looking for some mental therapy, join us every Saturday night with the Saturday Night Hypnosis. Thank you so much, Hypnotic, for making this happen. Thank you so much to the awesome panel members. It's always great to exchange and recharging the batteries. We have another tough week ahead of us, and then it's holiday season. So I hope it's just gonna get better. And next year, the revolution is just gonna get bigger and bigger. And here is the final product. Enjoy this.
Nice.
The final reveal.
Wow, really
Ooh,
cool, man.
that's very
I like
nice.
that.
That's very nice, dude. It was
All
like
right.
Looney
Colors.
Tunes.
Jay, Diabolical Souls, man, takes it away.
Oh, thank you. Again, yeah, it's been an honor to be on this show with you guys. I'm enjoying myself. I like the conversations. And I do have conversations on my channel at Diabolical Souls Presents. I have interviews. Last week I had a couple interviews with some pretty interesting guests. This week I have another one with Vex. And Thursday night we do a Blue Eye Samurai review. And with me and a couple other guys. We have a lot of
Shadow
fun
episode
there.
was great.
I appreciate that. Yeah, it was a lot of fun having him on and just kind of pushing the buttons like I like to do. It's really easy to sit there and have people come on and promote and do the fluffy stuff. I like to, peel the mask off and see what's inside the creator themselves and see how they got to this point. Like what gave you that drive? What what got you like to this point? What mistakes did you make? Like, what did you learn along the way? Those kind of things. I like talking about those things, and I'm having a lot of fun doing it. And then on the 27th, I have a long list of people coming onto the show doing a Rebel Moon review. So come check that out. I have Little Platoon. I think Cynic will be there. Cannoli, I think, is going to be there. Vex, a whack load of others. So come check that out. Diabolical Souls presents, and I'm just starting my video that I'm going to get out soon. So I'm going to do a review of Blue Eyed Samurai and put that out soon. So thank you so much to everyone. The chat, you guys are awesome. You guys are great. And also, I'm working on my comic as well. So Diabolical Souls. So look out for that in 2025. So
there you go. All right. Well, the fans, man, take it away.
Yeah, guys, I've had a total blast here today chatting with everybody. It's been really loads and loads and loads of fun, as usual, with you legends and everybody in the chat and all the little comments they've been making have been cracking me up. 2 in a row. Hey, I think I'm back, so that's good. I'm gonna, enjoy continuing to go back to my channel now and talk more about Doctor Who, because of course that is an absolute fucking war zone at the moment. I've had an incredible week, getting tons of subscribers, and more fans are starting to wake up and smell the lubricant. That's all over there.
That got extreme real quick.
If you're sick of the scent of flower-scented lubricant all over your entertainment, then come over to my channel, where I will be fighting against and to defend the things that we love and get away from woke propaganda. If you like what you see, hit subscribe and chat to me in the comments, because I have a really good time reading everybody's opinions on all of the things I talk about. So if that's your cup of tea, head on over and I'll see you there. Thanks, everybody.
All right. And we got Dragon Slayer commentaries. Take it away, man.
Hey, well, once again, thank you so much for the amazing stream. As usual, I love having a good time with these fellas. And good news, for real this time, like 100% for real. I know y'all won't believe me, but you'll see when it comes out.
No, don't say it.
I know. But there is a video coming out.
No,
it's going to be going to be in development. It's finally the first part of that Ahsoka review. I made it extra crispy because I really fucking hated that show, and I want everybody to understand just how bad it is that Star Wars has gone down the shit drain. All right, you're gonna see why I believe so. And yes, on YouTube, Paul. I know, amazing. It's a miracle. It's a Christmas
the whole
miracle
behind this. Like they just know.
Yeah,
It's Dragon Slayer's Starfield. It's gonna be hyped to hell, and it's gonna be less than stellar.
Oh,
you guys need to just chat bully him into doing a video a month at least, in 2024. Goodness. That needs to be his New Year's resolution. Bare minimum video a month. Bully this bitch into it.
Once a week. Never mind once a fucking month.
Well, take a bit more editing than any of the rest of us do.
Yeah. But the thing is, the video will be coming out though very soon. It's just like I haven't had time as much as I had for the past 3 months because of fucking work and other things. But I am getting more time back.
And your secret identity, I admit.
Yes, my secret identity as the Cuban. Yeah, like that's a secret. But if you guys want to check out my channel for my other movie and TV show reviews, just either click the link that bastard T-Gap wrote or the one in the description. And if you want to just keep up with any uploads that I do, I highly recommend you go to the About section of my channel, or like in the homepage, you can click the link tree right there. And if you click that link, it will allow you to subscribe by putting in your email so that you get notifications about when I release a video or any kind of content on any of the linked platforms over there. So if you're looking forward to knowing when I actually release a video, that's probably a good way of doing it, but I do post when I do release a video. So that's that for me, though. Thank you so much.
All right. Ryan Roger Athe, take it away, sir.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much for watching the 69th episode of Saturday Night Hypnosis. I hope you all enjoyed this live stream. As for me, you can check me out at Ryan Roger Athe on YouTube, on Twitter, as well as on other various platforms. Of course, I am the host and founder of Reality Based. Over the next week, I believe, I will be having 4 shows. Tomorrow, the latest episode of Reality Based Music with Scott Garwood as a special guest, a criminally underrated musical man. Then on the 18th of December, we'll be having Paul Hadouken on the next episode of Reality Based Extreme. Fine man.
Yeah. Hadouken!
And then on the 21st of December, we'll be having Kenzo UK back on as a guest of Reality Based Entertainment. And then on the 23rd of December, we'll be having Sassy Sasquatch as our guest, I think the last guest of Reality Based Extreme for 2023. And that will be on the 23rd of December. So lots of shows and plenty of suggestion videos, Rising Stars videos, and Reality Based Presents videos, which more and more will be cut up versions of our live shows. Add an intro, add a conclusion, and you are gonna love it, because I am definitely offensive on those shows. So yeah.
More than you are already.
As a misogynist, I'm surprised you're
watched
ending
the
your
one,
year
yeah.
with a woman. That's interesting.
Yeah,
Oh
that's
my
interesting.
Well,
You're
it's
right.
someone else's wife, so that's a plus.
Dun, 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 dun.
Speaking of someone else's wife, we're gonna end with Leona. Take it away.
Yes, yeah, you can come check me out at Words of Paradise. Believe it or not, I don't actually always present as a female. No, I do pop culture videos through a political lens in full male attire. Today, I spoke about the review bombing aspect of Rebel Moon, which if you want to check that out and go more in depth with it than we did here on the show, check that video out. It's been great. And since last week, I did cross to the over the 2,000 subscriber mark, as well as my 1 year anniversary on YouTube. My 1 year anniversary on YouTube, I believe, was Monday. So I just wanted to thanks to literally everyone on this panel. Thanks to everyone in the chat. You guys have helped this YouTube journey for the last year. It's been incredible, and I plan to only go further and keep doing more as 2024 goes on. So just wanted to say I appreciate everyone, and then thank you very much. Check out the channel, and you can catch me with Vex Electronica, Cult Classic Cage, and a few other guests this coming Monday on a special episode of Countercast, where we will be doing a tier list of all the games released in 2023. So it's not going to be a topical episode like normal. We're going to be talking gaming the whole time. I've got some pretty special ladies to help me out with it who are better gamers than me, proving that women do belong in gaming. There's your last bit of liberal, Leona.
Oh my God!
Cassie's not a woman.
The liberalism.
Oh, I never said
What a way to end it.
He always has to crowbar in it.
Yes, I know.
Episode 69 was awesome. I thank everybody for hanging out with us tonight. Thank you to everybody in the chat who came, stood, and hung out with us. Thank you to all the Hypno mods for doing your typical stuff and helping out with the chat and sending the links. I really, really appreciate you guys a lot. Thank you for everybody who chose to go the extra step to Super Chat. Speaking of which, Sonia was set for 5. Says, hope you all have a great night. Thank you, Sonia. I appreciate it.
Thank you
so much.
Female.
You guys are seriously ridiculous.
Yes.
Hit me up and
Thank you
diabolical
everybody
Soul.
for all your
Sonia.
support throughout the week. It's been awesome. And of course, next week will be episode number 70, and that'll be our Christmas stream. So thank you guys again. I hope to see everybody there. And of course, go be bigots. Have a great night, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Good night, everybody. Bye.
Good night.
I am not gay. I have relationships with women, sex with men. And I got news for you. That means you're gay. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids. Her dog or her cat was named Vagina. Vagina.